I see a lot of people with talent around us, a lot our community, right? The musicians. See a lot of people they go to the stage and they feel like they're so worried about what people gonna think.
Yeah.
They're so worried about the judgment. And
Yeah.
honestly, buddy, if you're gonna go that route, you're already losing.
Welcome to our sound. Welcome to our sound. Welcome to our sound.
Welcome to our sound.
To our sound.
Yo, 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 it's your boy, dadbOdd, and welcome to our sound. Today we have the amazing, the very talented, the Falcon.
Woo!
Thanks for coming out, buddy.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. It's our
Thanks for the
pleasure. Dude.
invite.
All right, now that we're in the podcast, let's talk about Brazil. Let's talk about...
Talk about Brazil.
So, okay, let's talk about where are you from?
Where's Brazil?
Yeah, where
I
is
never
it?
heard of it.
Down somewhere?
Yeah, as you guys well know, I was born in Brazil, so yeah, my first language is Brazilian Portuguese.
Nice.
Yeah, which is tricky because sometimes people are like, "Oh, so you're Portuguese?" So no, are you English because you speak English? No, you're Canadian, right?
Yeah.
It's just your language.
Yeah.
I speak Portuguese because it's like our main language
Okay.
in Brazil, which is odd because the only country not only country, but one of the 3 or 4 that doesn't speak mainly Spanish. I think it's Brazil. We have like Guyana. There's another 2 that one that's even like English, and the other ones that are like Dutch, if I'm not mistaken. But
Dutch?
yeah, but all the other ones is like because we have the French Guyana.
Okay,
They
yeah.
speak French,
Right.
and they have a part of them that another Guyana, if I'm not mistaken. Please, editor, correct me if I say some BS here. Yeah, other than these countries, everybody is Spanish, like Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador.
Right.
You know, all those countries like Peru, Colombia, they speak Spanish.
So do you speak Spanish too or no?
Well, it's
little bit?
funny because in Brazil, like when we're like watching the news, they don't even bother to translate most of stuff. You know, like it's so close for us. Like cerveja, beer,
Okay.
cerveja, cerveza. You know, like
Oh my God,
a lot
yeah.
of words. They have a lot of similarities. For me, it's like speaking Portuguese with an accent, pretty much. So for us, like the listening is so natural, but it's when it's reverse, which is funny.
When they're trying to... Yeah.
They don't get it. Like I had some Latin friends in Toronto while I was living there, and every time we would hang out like with Brazilian people, they're like, I can't get what you guys are talking. Say really because when you guys are talking in front of me, I understand
Yeah.
everything. It's different. It's crazy.
Is it like the accent that's different?
Yeah, I think yeah, and also they speak Spanish, but like the Spanish they speak in Argentina, it's not the same they speak in Chile, and that's not the.
Oh,
So
I
there's a lot of singularities and kind of dialects.
Dialect.
I'd
It's like
say.
French in here in Canada.
And Parisian French.
Right, right,
Like,
right. Yeah. Quebec French.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Yeah, so stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for us, it's more natural when we see them, we listen to them speaking. I watch a lot of soccer, like the big ones. They're like Real Madrid, Barcelona. They give an interview. They're talking like we can get it, like everything they're speaking.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, even Brazilian, like they tend to like assume they speak. Most of them like speak like fluent Spanish, but no, they don't. They can understand it in some fashion, but I wouldn't dare to say that I'm fluent in Spanish.
Right, right.
I can make my ways, you know,
Right. So
as
if
I
you're
can
going-
in English.
Yeah. Oh, you're pretty good in English, bro.
I fake very well.
So like I have so many questions on how you got to Canada, but before we go there, I'd love to know, like, you were born in Brazil.
Yeah.
When did you start making music, playing music?
Okay, so I can't say that I came from a musical family because other than me, I don't have any relative that's ever like played an instrument before me.
What,
So
really?
yeah, but
Whoa.
but I remember like hanging out on my family camp and my friends, and we always grew up like around music, you know, listen to music and singing. So first thing that came to me was like the singing.
Right, right.
So I could mimic and copy like the tones, you know, the way people do the things, and I kind of developed a very wide range of extension to sing, like from here to there, you know,
Right,
at
right.
a very young age. But I can say, and that made me a very musical person since the young age. But I really developed the interest for playing and singing together. I remember I was in my 12, 13-ish, and I used to watch every day a videotape of Pink Floyd. A friend of mine just say, "Hey, listen to this, man. You're gonna like it."
Which album?
It's funny. You remember there were three different types. You could put like EP, SP, and LP. Like EP, which was the longest hours you could get on the tape, like 6 hours.
Right. Okay.
And so the longest you can actually record in the tape, that makes it like lowest quality, right? So this was like a very long tape, like 6 hours tape. So the sequence I still remember was like The Wall, the movie, and then there was like The Wall, the Berlin concert. You ever watch that one?
No, I haven't seen
You guys
that.
should. It's like
It's an actual wall.
yeah, they built
tumbling
like a
down,
wall.
it's
Yes.
It's wild.
Yeah, so
That's
Roger
cool.
Waters, he came with this idea. I think it was around they tore the wall in Berlin.
Okay. Yeah.
So they kind of they went there and they recorded the thing like kind of using that idea like a breaking they build the wall and then they break the wall, and they have a bunch of feature acts, like they have like Cyndi Lauper, Bryan Adams. It's like a lot of Bryan Adams sing what? I think it's Young Lust. Yeah, it's the whole like The Wall
The concert.
album.
Yeah, oh,
They
yeah,
play
they do,
from In the
yeah.
Flash until like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a double album. So they play all the songs in that sequence with different like feature acts. Cyndi Lauper, as I said. They start with Scorpions.
I've never.
You know that In the Flash. So yeah, touch ya.
don't know that.
It's not.
He's the Pink
Yeah.
Floyd fan.
So
Like,
they
I
come.
like him.
They got to the stage in the limo. So yeah, that's how I like. Imagine like you being like a teen, like 12, 13, watching that thing and like, oh my God, look at these guys. And then right after, but that was like the very fancy piece of the thing. Like I was like, oh, so much like light tricks and this and that. But then the next show on the very same tape was the Pulse concert,
Oh, yeah.
94.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
I
Dave
got that one
Gilmer,
in the house.
right? Dave Gilmer playing guitar, and man, that was my favorite. So I would,
You sit through those to get to.
Pulses has wicked visuals. The visuals.
oh yeah, it's considered
The
into,
light show is nuts.
yeah. They say that the light, it was the first time they used like laser
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and it was 94.
What year was that? 70.
No, 94.
Oh, 94. Oh, okay.
94.
Yeah. Okay.
So they play like a lot of late Pink Floyd stuff, like post Roger Waters, right? And they play part of the. I think they actually played the whole Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
on the second half of the show. So I would watch that thing every day, and I would always like invite some friends to come over. Say, hey, I have this tape. Want to watch some friends? And
Are you playing guitar at this point?
no idea.
13, you
nothing.
weren't playing at all?
No,
It was just brewing inside. you.
no.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, man, what the heck? Like, I want to be that guy. I want to play like that guy. Oh my God, that touched me on a different level, you know. And then of course I told my dad, I want a guitar, electric guitar. I want to be a rock star.
Like we all do.
Oh, here we go.
And my dad was like, no, it's very expensive. For our reality in Brazil back then, man, to have an instrument, whoa, it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like that here. Like, so like you want to have a guitar, you know, like you do some summer job, you go and buy yourself a Martin Taylor, right?
Right.
In Brazil, to have a Taylor, I have some pro friends in Brazil, they still don't have it. And it's not that we, like, most of them are not that poor, but it's different. You know, there's a lot of taxes included in that, like exportation fees and blah, blah, blah. It makes it just complicated.
Right.
So,
That's wild.
so it was
man.
a dream, but I wasn't even picky. I just want an electric guitar, of course. And then my dad, no, you know what? We're going to start working and getting you an acoustic one. And if you master that thing, and if you prove that you're into that, and if you put in work on that, we can talk and give you an electric guitar.
Right.
Which still I didn't get until this very day. So, Dad, what's my camera? Dad, I'm still waiting for that guitar, okay? So what happened? I have one only relative that lives in Canada, which is my godmother. It's my dad's second oldest sister, and she lives in Toronto. She's more Canadian than Brazilian. She came to Canada in like 80 something, and was like around Christmas. She came home. She gifted me like $20, $50, like American. She get my dad is like, oh, we're gonna do the exchange, and you know what we're gonna do? See, we're gonna put this aside, and you're gonna get me that guitar, right? So that was the first like help I got to get my first instrument. So I got my very shitty instrument that I still.
Do you remember what kind of a guitar?
Oh,
it
it's a
was?
Brazilian brand. It's called Tonante, which means like tone something, translating like roughly. And I got this guitar. It was like nylon strings, which I replaced right away for steel strings.
Right.
And I started just doing the riffs and licks and this and that. And I swear to God, like in 1 month, I was playing a bunch of songs.
Whoa.
And my friend's like, why did you get there? I say, ask my mom. My mom would call me and look at me like, I like food, man. And my mom would call me and say, Julio, supper's ready. I was like, Mom,
I'm good. I'm playing guitar.
no, she's like, oh, are you okay?
Wow.
Are you okay? Are you sick?
But you just loved it. You just picked that up and
Man, I would pick that over anything, like over any other thing. Like that
for
was
you, dude.
my new passion, my new like.
was it
where-
at first? Was it hard, or did
Oh,
you just
always.
take to it quick?
Still is hard, man. Still
Oh, fuck.
hard.
Watching you play, bro, you make it look easy.
I think it very well. The idea is like, especially when you put like when you start with steel strings, right? Like it's until you build those calluses
yeah.
and like I started, of course, like trying to play Pink Floyd, which I got like bored right away because like Paul doesn't sound like the guys at all. They only had one like acoustic song, which was "Wish We're Here."
Right.
So that was the only one I would try to play, but all the other ones was like, oh, I need distortion. So right away, I kind of kept that aside, and I kind of developed this thing. Like until this very day, my most favorite songs, most of them, I don't play them.
Really?
I like listen to the stuff.
But you're like, I don't want to.
I have a special sacred spot in my heart for most of the songs that some of the songs I'm not gonna name them all for you.
No.
But like some stuff, like I don't touch them. I don't even like. Sometimes I play around, but I don't even like apply to actually to them break to them take that enchantment, you know, that
Yeah,
charm of
yeah,
the things.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, I hear
leave
ya.
it to them,
It's
you know.
magic. That's magic. It's my
Yeah,
special
like
tune.
that's the one I like to kind of go to my corner, get into a very quiet environment, put my earphones and listen,
Yeah.
and don't actually try to
To play to it,
No,
it's
no.
just for you. That's just
yeah. So I think I started like that because I didn't have the instrument to actually replicate that tone, right?
So how long were you playing acoustic for? You got an electric.
So
on your
no,
own.
I got there.
Okay.
So this was like I was like 12, 13, right? It's when I got my first guitar. It wasn't summer of '69. I was like 94, 5-ish. Yeah.
Okay.
So at that point we start, and then of course I jumped right away in playing more like Brazilian stuff because, you know, a lot of acoustic things and the scene in Brazil, like especially live music, you would go to bar and see people playing. They usually playing like they would just cross their legs and sit on a stool and play that very laid back classical, like, you know, that was more like the Brazilian music, like
Right.
we called MPB, which is like stands for Brazilian popular music. So
Okay.
I kind of I went for a deep dive on that kind of music.
For the first couple of years. When
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and then, but yeah. So what happened that really pushed me to learn and to practice? I was turning 15, and so was all my friends around. And in Brazil, we had this funny ritual, like when our friends are, especially the girls, they're turning 15, we would go and serenade them because they have like this. This like it's like a prom, right? Like a gown, like a 15 when
The
you turn.
quinceañera?
Yeah.
Is it something like that?
Yeah, because you kind of introduce them to society, right? Like
Right.
you're turning 15, so you throw a big party,
Yeah.
you dress pretty much like a bride, something like that, you
Oh
know?
my- yeah, I've
Yeah,
heard of
we have
this.
that stuff. It's nice.
That's cool.
So all of our friends, and when they're turning 15, we would just like, and they would come to me and say, hey, Julio, you know that lady? She's turning 15, and her favorite song is this one. So we already have everything figured out with her mom and dad. She's going to go to bed. We're going to knock at the window, and you're going to start playing. I say, dude, you ever notice how difficult that song is? We don't care. You got to learn it. You're the only guitarist on the group, on the gang. That's you.
Oh man.
So I would I would like apply myself to learn the song. Sometimes they would give like a day or two as a heads up, like, no, you need to learn this because her birthday is like tomorrow. I was like, fuck, So I would like go and start playing, and man, it was nice because I felt so good. Like I imagine like you turning 15, and I bet you some of these friends they still remember that. It's a memory. It's a core like that. It's engraved right in your heart. So some people they still like reach out sometimes, say, "Hey, remember when you came at my window and you played my song?" And so we would do
cool,
that,
man.
And then we start doing that for like oldest friend as well. Not the only ones that was turning 15, but those that we carried like a special place in our hearts. We would just surprise them. And they
That's
actually
so
did that
cool,
for
man.
me when I turned 15.
Oh yeah, who
Because
played for you though? Because you're the only guy playing guitar.
some of my friends, they just came to I think it was Murillo, one of my friends, he would play the guitar. It was actually way better than me.
Really?
Yeah, most of my friends were. It was just like, like trying. But yeah, that was like me, but I never took it serious, like as, I want
Music. You never took music.
Yeah,
It was
because
just
I
more
was
fun.
so busy like studying,
Right.
trying to.
And your background's graphic design.
At that point, I was more into like computer, like programming, coding,
That's cool.
engineering, like doing like turning things apart and putting them together again. I'm more like kind of a geek when it
Yeah,
comes
like a
to
geek.
that's why.
Yeah, well,
So yeah, and then of course the guys I was hanging out at the time, my friends, we were all like hackers. Like we used to like never sleep at night, just like when that one post like call internet type thing,
yeah.
that annoying noise.
Oh yeah.
So after midnight,
Man,
it was just one pulse, right? We would call, and then as long as you keep that connection, they would charge you only like one pulse, which was like a couple cents after midnight to 6 a.m. in Brazil at least.
So that's when you did your.
That's
hacking.
why we all became like vampires. All my generation, man. We if you were into like a chat stuff like that, like how you guys should call it Merc? No,
Oh yeah, Merc, IRC. We
yeah,
had Merc,
IRC,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Internet relay chat. Man, we would have like squads and gangs and that thing, and start nuking people and just like dropping their connection and like
Oh
we
wow.
felt like we were like
Like just messing with people. That's awesome,
Yes.
dude.
Yeah. So I was more into that, and also music and playing music here and that. But I actually developed, and I felt like I had some kind of talent when I was already like figuring out things better, and then my friends started doing more like campfires and this and that, and then I start standing out.
Right.
First of my capacity of singing, and
Okay.
then like I start really learning things, but never like shredding, nothing like that. Nothing.
Just chords and
I
like
was
riffs.
just pretty simple, man. Pretty simple.
Right.
Um,
So okay, so at what point, like how old would you say this is? Like you're a young adult, you're drinking beer with your buddies at the
okay,
campfire.
my wake up call.
Oh,
Sorry.
well, no, I'm curious how we went from like computer hacker to like music savant, amazing player,
No, music was always on the side,
but
right?
not the main focus.
No, not the main focus. The focus was like get a job and some kind of computer company, which I got. Like I started working at 16. My first job, like a internet provider. Okay. So yeah, and then over there, like doing like call like support, like those
tech support,
help desk stuff. I one day they needed that to get the stuff for the theaters updated on the website of this provider. Also, all the subscribers, they could know what was
like coming out, kind of thing.
what was streaming on this on the thing, right? So and one day the graphic designer didn't come, and then I was like, oh, I saw him doing this and that, and he's like, oh, you think because we need this like ASAP? I say, oh, I think I can try. It was just like pretty much like cutting out the picture and putting in that format and putting like the description, like the synopsis of the movie, right?
Right. Yeah.
What it was about, and then I did, and it was like, oh, you did it actually fast. Like, you want to keep doing it? So yeah, and then I started developing and learning. Like at the time was like Photoshop.
Yeah.
Which is still my favorite.
Oh, that's what you use.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really like Photoshop. Yeah, for like photo editing and stuff. But there was other competitors, right? Some stuff we would do on CorelDRAW.
Okay, I
different.
don't think I heard that.
Yeah, Color Draw is a different platform that's still very, very common, especially when they do like signs and stuff.
Like big like
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
for vectors, right? Which
Oh,
now I use the suite for Illustrator. Illustrator
Ado-
is
yeah.
one of the tools of
Adobe?
Creative Cloud Suite. Yeah.
Right, yeah, I had that for a
Adobe,
while.
yeah.
I remember seeing it. It's a green icon, eh?
No,
Or
the
pur-
Illustrator is the orange.
Orange icon.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm out to lunch then.
Yeah.
Okay. I switched over to DaVinci Resolve. I was only on there for I was using Premiere,
Yeah.
but I'm like I can get Resolve for free, so I went to DaVinci. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
so this was happening in Brazil. You're living in Brazil, you're doing
Yeah.
this. At what point did you come out? Did you decide to come north?
So we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
So I was working and then at this provider, and then I changed jobs in the same field, and then always going out with friends and hanging out, going to bars and stuff. And one day and this was my wake up call. This is important. This
You-
part.
Wake up call, okay?
Yeah, I was like, okay, let me try. I was 22.
Okay.
22. At this point, I already gave a couple canja. Canja means like chicken soup, which there's nothing to do with the word, but it's like a slang for you're playing. It's your gig, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to say, hey, Julia, you want to give a canja? So you want to do like
Come
a
in.
cameo.
Right,
You
right,
wanna
come join.
Yeah, no,
okay.
just no. We're going to take a break. You want to play one or two
Oh, I
songs.
see.
So that's a canja.
Oh, okay.
That's a canja in Brazil.
Nice.
So, yeah, so that was I could do like my friends were playing, some people that I really liked, I would go and watch them, and at the middle of the show they would take a break and say, hey Julio, come here, play that song. So I would play like some Brazilian stuff, some U2 that I already was into, and I was always like interested in English, so they were like, oh, he sings in English, here, this and that, and that was another thing that helped me like standing out a little bit.
Right.
And so, but that was my only relation with the stage and the music scene, right? And one day, I was like, yeah, I can track it because I remember I was like 22. Yeah, this was like 2004. Yeah, man, I was old already. Yeah, 2004, 22. And then I was falling asleep. My cell phone rang. My buddy was like, hey, what are you doing? I say, man, I'm going to bed. Like, gotta work tomorrow. Sunday. Like, no. Get ready. We're picking him up right now. We're gonna go to that bar, and there's a nice rock concert there. We wanted to sing us a song. Say, man, I'm going to bed. You want me to get up and go, and you're gonna push the person that is singing to let me sing a song? No way. Say,
Yeah,
hey,
no kidding.
this is not an option. Get ready. So I was like, fuck, got ready. So they stopped at my place. I got into the car. So we went to the bar. We start drinking, and they're phenomenal. It was a lady, Daniele Moreno, great artist in my hometown, and she was playing with this guy, Junior, phenomenal guitar player, one of the best I ever met. And then they're playing, and she wasn't even taking a break. This guy start yelling my name, Julia.
Your buddies are doing
Yeah,
this?
I swear to God, I want to just leave, right?
No kidding.
I got up and I was about to leave. I said, no, you guys not doing this to me. I said,
that's-
dude,
pressure's
this is,
crazy.
this is like, this is not respectful to them. Like, it's their show. But everybody was drunk. They wouldn't care, They're just like, you know what? You want to hear Julia? And fuck off. We want to hear Julia.
Yeah.
I said, okay. And I was literally like, I checked my bill. I was like, no, this is bullshit. No, it didn't feel right.
Right,
I was like,
right.
no, bye. And while I was going through the door, she called me on the mic. Okay, so who's this Julio guy? Hey, Julio, now I'm curious. I want to hear you too.
Oh,
Come
my
here.
God.
I was like, okay.
Holy.
And
Dude,
then-
I'd be so nervous, bro.
And then I turned around. I walked to the stage. I got there. And back then, I remember, you still could smoke inside the places, right?
Really?
Yeah, this is like 2004. You still could smoke like on the stage if you wanted. So this guy, with that very nice look, like big hair, big beard. And he's like, dude, feel free, do your thing. I'm going to have a cigarette right there. I said, okay, buddy. I was like very embarrassed, like, got there, put my thing, grabbed her guitar. Didn't have a guitar. I said, can I borrow? Yeah. Then I start doing like Sunday Bloody Sunday. This guy look at me, the guitarist. He look at me. He puts the guitar.
Oh wow.
Like good stuff.
Attaboy.
Like good stuff.
Move your whole seat up.
Oh,
Just a little bit.
like that?
Yeah, we're getting that blurred.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I kept trying to focus.
Yeah.
Now
So
now it's good.
yeah. So this guy comes like he's having the best time, right? It's like, fuck, man, I always wanted to play this song. Okay, play. And then I start, and he did like a killer like lead and solo in the middle of the song.
You're jamming with this.
Yeah, I'm
Wow,
this
dude.
super pro guy. He was a teacher. He actually, that's the situation. She was a performer, but she also owned like I think she's still in this kind of business. She owned like a music institute in the hometown, and this guy worked for her, giving lessons on the daytime,
Right.
and he worked with her like as a side partner, you know, like playing the gigs together, and they had like a band. But for some like small venues like this, like not small venue, but smaller shows,
Right.
they would use just like a duo, just the two of them. So she left the stage. I stayed there with this guy, and then I was like, "Hey, thank you." And he's like, "No, you know more." Yeah, I know a couple one. So what do you know from Dire Straits? I said, "Oh, I knew this one." So we played like In Your Last Trick. And then I just played the thing I knew the top of my head. I said, "Oh, you know The Police?" I said, "Yeah, I know this one." And then we played. I think I played like 6 songs, all international for us, like
Yeah, yeah,
English
yeah.
stuff.
But no, but that.
And
okay.
everybody was like, "Oh, loving it." And then I was like, "Okay, thank you. Now I gotta go." And then I start getting off the stage, and he comes to me. "You don't leave me without giving me your number. We're gonna talk." I said, "Okay, this is my number." Blah blah.
That's sweet, man.
Then he called me, and at this time, as I was working in the store, I was a salesman. I was selling supplies for computers, stuff like computers, printers, this kind of stuff. I was one of the salesmen there, right? Associates. And then this guy calls me like in the middle of the day, next next day, and he's like, "Do you have a minute? Like, I would like to come to you. I'm in the city, like next city, but like I take like 20 minutes to get. I know you're in your hometown." It's like, and then he
Where's your
came.
hometown in Brazil?
My home. I was born in Timóteo, but this hometown for me where I grew up is called Coronel Fabriciano.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he came to Fabriciano, and we kind of we had like this meeting, and he was like, "But oh, so you also sell computers other than being a musician?" I said, No, you got it wrong. I'm not a musician. It's like, dude, the only thing I can attest that you are is a musician.
Wow.
Of course you're a musician.
Oh, dude.
And then that guy put that in my head, and it's like, "No, you're a musician." And I say, "Yeah, but what's the deal?" Saying, "No, you see that girl? Like I already told her, like, I have different plans. She already got a person on the side, so I'm quitting the school. I'm not playing with her, and I want to play with you." Say, "Dude, I never did like shows and stuff like that." He's like, "No, we're gonna start doing right now."
So he became like a mentor almost.
Yes, and yeah, and he's actually one of my biggest like guitar heroes. Like, he's awesome.
Wow.
And
man,
we're
that's
still good
cool.
friends to this very day.
That's
Yeah,
fucking cool,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, and so he's the one that I attribute to him, like the fact that my wake up call, like, "Oh, you're a musician." No,
Right.
no, I'm a IT guy. No, you can be that as well, but you're a musician.
Did he gave you that confidence? Of,
Yeah,
Like, I can
yeah,
call myself
yeah,
that
yeah.
finally.
But that's why, like, like doing the open mic, doing the things, I see people come in and like sometimes clueless about how the process works. Like, how do you level up a mic? How do you what this is not working? What is? And I was like, dude, be kind to yourself, because it's like, yeah, Julia, for you, it's easy. I say, dude,
It took a while.
you assuming that
Yeah.
I already knew it. But I remember when I started playing with this guy, like, I had no clue. Like, I couldn't like EQ myself. So before I start singing, he would go and do all the sound check and everything until the day he didn't come, and then I had to figure it out. And so different situations, like putting you under pressure, and then you really find out what you made of,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. That's why when I see people doing things and people like losing their shit over stuff, it's like, give yourself,
Slow down a little.
slow down,
Yeah. Take a
trust me, trust the process, Of course, you're not going to master this right away because you didn't put the time and energy. That's what differs us from different people. Like people like, oh, how do you play guitar so good? Because I put the time and energy, and you didn't. You have different goals and different focuses, right? So that's the thing. I believe like whatever you want to be and do, like as long as you put your time, energy, heart, you're
Absolutely.
going to get there.
Absolutely.
I
Notice me
trust.
At a young age.
I trust because that's the...
what I did when I was a kid. I was an only child, and I was in grade 6, 7, just sitting there playing the guitar. I just figuring it out.
Yeah.
Just didn't know what I was doing, man. I'd watch my dad, and my dad didn't teach me, but he would be like, "Follow along. Just you gotta follow me." That's, So I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it." Right.
Yeah.
Put the time in. And
Now I don't think about to really say I like to look back and I'm like, how much time did I really put in? It's like, well, I did have hard times learning stuff, man. I really did.
Yeah.
And I bet you still have.
Oh yeah.
Me too. All of us.
I'm a rhythm player, right? To
Yeah.
start doing leads, that's I'm entering a whole new world. Or finger picking, you know what I mean? That's where it becomes a whole other thing, right?
Yeah. But you can't ever give up.
No.
You just keep
No.
You got to keep playing. So like, how much did you practice? Like at that point, you're a musician now. You've been told by your mentor, I'm a musician. Do you put in like?
So I
6
played
hours?
with this guy, right, for a long time, like a couple of years. I'd say solid like 2 or 3 years, like until like we went apart, like different projects, different ideas. Like he was busy doing different things. He was with a girl, and then he lived closer, and then they broke up, and then he moved. So a lot of stuff happened, but we never kind of got into a beef with each other, like just like life happens, right?
Yeah.
And I remember like we were doing the things so often. Like I would go and play every weekend because he would make sure that, as being a musician for so long, he always had this sense of how professional we want to be, and we want to be showing up, and we want to be on the scene, which I still take it to my life. Like I want to be. That's why I'm as busy
Play
as
every night, man. You're out there, bro.
try.
I'm surprised we got you in here tonight, man. I'll be
I can't
honest.
stop, man. It's like paddling a bike. You stop paddling, you fall, right?
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your time also. Man.
Yeah.
Thanks,
yeah.
man. Oh, that's really nice to be here. I kind of pictured myself being here a long time ago because as soon as Eric asked me about the thing, say, hey, we should have you. I was like, yeah. And then I saw some of your videos here. I already knew these monkeys. So I was like, it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. No,
And
man,
you guys are nice too, so make it easier.
When we started this, one of the first names that came up was your name, man.
Thank you.
We gotta
Thank
get
you.
the Falcon in here.
Thank you. That makes me happy.
Absolutely, bro. But yeah, you play every night because that guy instilled that.
So yeah,
Play all the
he is
time.
like, yeah, we gotta play, like we gotta pay the bills. We always took it as a full-time job, like, oh, when you're not playing, go learn new stuff.
Right.
Go make sure, like, let's polish the repertoire, like the ones that's not working, let's make it work, otherwise we're gonna just crash them. And so I kept like refining, my material but that's the thing. Until that very point, I'm talking about three years after that, it was like 25. Then life happened, and I was always working on the side. I always had my 9 to 5 to make sure, that my bills are covered, like all the house stuff. Like I was always paying bills at the house and stuff. My dad, mom, they moved to other state to do. My dad was working for another company. He's a chemical engineer. A chemician, how do you say that?
Chemical.
Chemical, yeah. Sometimes
No, I caught it.
I
knew-
mix
yeah.
it. So yeah, my dad was living in the state that I love the most, like to go to the beach, Bahia, when I was there. So he was living there, so it was just me and my middle brother, like taking care of the house and everything. That's a big house, a lot of expenses, so I couldn't.
So you guys own that house now, or it still belong to your parents? You were just taking.
In Brazil? No, my dad's, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I was living there with my brother. My dad moved to another place, and yeah, it's my dad's place.
Okay.
Dad and mom, and then we were just taking care of stuff, right?
Right.
Paying all the expenses and stuff, and so I couldn't for just being on the music stuff because it wasn't enough until that point. And having a girlfriend, she was always like, "Yeah, you're so smart. You should, get a job into a bank or something like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
getting better paid, blah blah blah." And then I remember I changed jobs. Like I resigned from the company. I was a graphic designer. I was well succeeded there. I got like an international award working for them, doing big stuff, big projects. And I decided just to resign and start my own agency,
Right.
digital creator, content stuff like graphic designer agency with like 2 partners. Didn't work. We stayed on the market for a year,
Okay.
but it was a good experience, right? I learned a lot through that. And then after that, I was so solid on the market already. And then I joined a band. And when I joined this band with these 2 guys, I was the bassist. The guy asked me to join the band because he had a beef with the old bassist, which is still my good friend. And the bassist say, "Well, you sure about that? This guy, is a little of a hard head. That's why I quit the band." But it's like, man, they play all over. I need this experience. Like, it's gonna be good for me. I'm gonna try. And if you start like giving me a hard time, I say bye. Which I actually ended up doing like 4 years after. But we stick together for 4 years. Like I'm while the band existed, I was the longest living, bassist that played with him. Like I played for 4 or 5 years. This guy before me played for 9 months. But they're like the big band of town, they would play in all the proms, parties. When you have like when people just join to the university, we call Calorada.
Like Frosh or whatever?
Yeah, so they put like a big party. So man, Saturday I would move 3 different parties. Like go play on this one and then play the other one.
Whoa.
And we are so versatile at that point. Like we would play from Metallica to whatever cheesy you think, we would play everything.
Man.
This guy is like one of the
Folk.
kind of, yeah. So yeah, we could play anything like hard rock and to whatever genre, like very dancing stuff. We could really put a show, and it was a 3-piece band.
Really?
I would sing the most part of it, playing bass at the same time. I can send you guys some links later if you're gonna add to
I'd love to see that.
It was nice. We playing some this fresher, how you call it, the parties.
The Frosh.
Fresher.
I think that's what they call it. Right?
Never
That's what
heard
they
this
do.
term. Yeah, it's good. See.
It's like fun parties.
Yeah, but they have like a
Yeah.
party, we call it Calorada because you're like a rookie, right? You just get into the thing.
Freshman there.
So it is like a welcoming party. So the directory, like the guys that part of the board, they have some kind of funds. They put a party and people just pay and get in. Like you pay and then you're welcome. Yeah, and so and we would play like on the regular basis at least once Saturday, stuff like that on the season, right? Like we usually like mid of the year and then the end of the year. So we would play, but like when it was really peaking, we would play like 3 events on a Saturday.
That's wild.
Plus the weddings, plus the parties, private parties, plus my solo stuff. I would do like guitar and vocals. The guitarist would do the same, and the drummer also. So it was 3 very
Well-rounded musicians. Like,
this guy,
That's sweet.
the guitarist, man, he lives in U.S. right now. He'd be playing a big band there. Like he's one of the guys there I've seen playing. It was like, what? Like I could never like, hey, okay, you play bass, I play the guitar. I couldn't take him out of this chair. He's really on top of his game.
Wow, man.
And the
that's
drummer
cool.
as well is phenomenal. So it was a trio, and I was a bassist, right? And the 3 of us could sing and vocalize and harmonize. We could do like the Beatles stuff, like Beatles mashup, like 15 minutes long, like, and keep people on the floor. And she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. And just full of harmonies, It's beautiful. It was so cool.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's when I really built some skin, like in terms of not getting frightened of the stage, of the crowd, of nothing, because I was doing that so often that it just became natural.
Right. It's like your second home up there.
Yeah, but I was confident playing the bass, and I am. Like if you ask me to a project, what do you want to pick here so you can do it like on the fly? Pass me the bass. I can just You know,
Well,
because
so it's like the root of everything. It's like
Yeah.
the first. It's not hard to find.
yeah,
those
because if
notes.
I could do that singing on top of it, man, like if I don't have to sing, it's even easier.
Oh
you know?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For
You know?
sure.
singing and playing bass
Yeah.
is different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you play with your fingers?
Oh yeah, fingers pick depending what
Depending
song.
on the song.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Man, singing and playing bass.
Yeah, I
would be
used to
wild.
sing like Tom Sawyer by Rush and singing. I'm like,
Wow.
that part of what do you say about his company? Like, dum, da, dum, da, 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 dum, da, dum, and singing on top of that.
Yeah.
What do you say about his company? You know, like it's a tough division, right? To keep up with.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Like
so
myself, I sing bass with him, and sometimes
I
gotta
know.
pick my
I
moments.
feel you, buddy. I feel you. But yeah, so at that time I was still a very like written player because again I was in this band. So this guy, he wouldn't never pick the bass and like, hey, do this. Although he knew that I could do my thing, but he would never give me the chance for because he wanted to do things so perfectly, you know. He would do it. We would play, man, like Mr. Crowley by Ozzy Osbourne. He would play like Jump Van Halen on a three-piece band. Like he would do like the lead, the tapping thing. Like you can put the CD, he wouldn't skip a beat. He was
Wow.
that good. Still is that good. He is.
And now he's in the States playing.
Yeah, he plays. He lives in Florida somewhere. He was up north, and then he moved to Florida. He's on a kind of rock country band.
That's cool,
yeah,
man.
great guy, great musician.
Sweet.
Yeah. So after that, after we split,
Why'd you leave that band? What happened
okay,
with that?
because he was very and I have no problem telling you guys this because I told him like I'm very honest with things. Like he was very perfectionist and which is nice, which I also am, but he was very hard on the clock, but like an extreme level. You know, he and also, but the thing that really pissed me off the most was like we didn't have extra stage relationship. So he was so professional that okay, we finish here. Let's eat a pizza and talk about the concert. No, I gotta go. So we
Oh,
didn't have that connection. I did have with the drummer, and so one day he was kind of bullying the drummer for some situation. The drummer is very childish kind of personality per se. He's very like pure heart guy. And then one day, this guitarist was like kind of bullying him, and he was having a hard time. He's like, Julio, you know what, man? I gotta go. This thing is killing me. Like this guy is like bossing me. Like, and I don't have the strength to tell him to stop and blah blah blah. blah. I say, what do you want to do? I want to quit. I say, okay, let's quit then. It's like, you gonna quit with me? So, man, you're kind of the counterbalance, right? Like
Right,
if
right.
you live, it's gonna be just me and him. It's not gonna be the same thing. I'm gonna have another guy to learn the whole thing. He's annoying as fuck. You know,
Yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm with you. Let's quit. I said, what are we gonna do? So we figure out. So right away, I team up with some other people. We put like a Pink Floyd tribute, which is my favorite band. So this opportunity just came like, say, hey, we need. They kind of had into an argument with the guy that was doing the guy was just singing, and I could play the bass. They was like, oh, so we had this vocalist, and this guy quit the project, and I was wondering if he could sing the stuff and play the bass. I was like, oh yeah, why not guitar? Because I couldn't do it, man.
Yeah,
I
'cause
still
was-
can't. But like at that point, I was like, no, I have no skills for doing that. So with the bass and singing, I was comfortable, you know,
Right, right.
enough. And then, but that was like stuff that we would do like 3 times a year because we would only do. That was like the most things that I had a special place in my heart. So I wouldn't overdo it. I wouldn't play in little bars with it, you know.
Right,
So
right,
I
right.
would just do like big theaters, concerts for like 700 people, or like for street concerts for like a couple thousand people. This is what we did back then.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Fun fact. I just posted a video playing like Time, just revisiting the lead. I don't know if you guys saw it. And then right away when I posted, a guy commented like, "Oh, Julio, the great Julio, so happy we our paths crossed. I played. We did when the Dark Side of the Moon turned like 40 years in 2013. This guy put a show, and he sponsored the show. He owns like a magazine, a big magazine. You know, it's a very traditional magazine on local. And then he hired us. He paid us very well. He did like an article and
Yeah.
so we have our pictures there talking about the project and our passion about Pink Floyd and everything. So yeah, and that concert was for a couple thousand people. That one. So like that's my experience. So,
Oh man,
but
that's
still, like I was confident when I was in the band. When I was in my stool doing the thing, like everybody else was, I was like still feeling like, you know,
really.
no, yeah, because like it's
And
not
now,
that,
like you play alone.
because
That's
I
like your thing.
pictured always doing like I want to do leads and arrangements, and I couldn't do that by myself. And every time I was playing with somebody on a project, I was either only playing rhythm or playing bass. So I was still feeling like I'm not doing, I'm not at full capacity. But I was humble enough to understand that I wasn't on that level either, because I wasn't putting the time and energy into learning
Yeah.
leads and stuff. Okay.
You're playing. All the energy's going to bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that time, I started doing like some parties, private events with like a parallel project. And these guys, and I would always pick like rhythm guitar, acoustic or electric, but just rhythm. And always hire one of my friends, like killer guitar players, to do the fancy stuff. And until one day, we got into a situation with the lead guitar guy. And a friend of mine said, "Why don't you do the lead?" I said, "No, because I can't do it." I said, "Who told you that?" I say, "I did." I say, "Yeah, that's your problem.
Yeah. You're your
When
own worst
you
enemy,
limit
man.
yourself, like." And
Yeah.
then this guy was a great musician as well. He came to me and said, "Hey, come here. So when you like an E, you're gonna do this. When you A, you're gonna do that." And then he passed me like a couple simple exercise, so I could practice. And there's any song that you know the leads. Oh, I have that one. I have that one. So okay, so stick to those that you're already confident, like note by note. And after that, I started developing. And honestly, man, I would play with some of my friends. They would mock me, like, "Hey, stop doing that." You have no idea. Like, I would try to do a lead or something. They would be mean to me. It's like, dude, it's not your game. What are you doing?
But you're learning. You're getting into game.
I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
no, I know, buddy, but I just want to have fun. So, no, don't do that. Stick to the plan. Do the rhythm, blah blah blah. And so I let that go for a while, and then I started doing some. But that's another thing. At that point, I already saw a guy playing once he came to my hometown, and I fell in love for his music right away. And he's still the guy that I like the most in terms of looping stuff. Like he's a Brazilian guy, he's phenomenal. He plays all over the world. He plays like the cover in
What's his-
Liverpool. Gleison Tulio, I can send you the link. He's like,
Yeah,
he's
man.
like other level. And yeah, he was my first reference for that kind of stuff. And then I got like this very simple pedal, and I started developing something. But I'm very good at rhythm, at keeping stuff, the tempo. That's another thing that also like
Oh,
I can give me some credit, because even when we're playing on a band and the drummer was speeding up, say, "Hey, I'm gonna put a speed camera behind you when you're speeding up." Like, come on, don't rush. Like, keep the tempo. Like, that kills me if you can't keep the tempo and play the thing. So that's why, like, I think having a good drum beat it's the foundation,
right. And then when you're looping, I see you. Like you're
that's
right away.
why.
I'm
But
gonna
I
get that.
developed it through that, because you gotta be so precise, so accurate. When you stump on that thing, you close the compass, the bars. So you're gonna repeat right away, and you're gonna tell you right away if you did wrong.
Right, right.
So if you say, "No, I did," he's showing you didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
"No, I hit it right." Some people want to argue, right? So you don't argue with that. Like, you recorded wrong, you're going to keep repeating forever wrong.
Yeah.
And you can't fix it. So I got to the point that I would do the loop with some of my good drummer friends, like a duo. And they would, like, just the two of us. It was like I would record like a rhythm, and they would follow the thing, man, so tight. Like, we would sound like a full band, like at least a 4-piece, but there was just two.
Right.
So that started giving me some more confidence on this, and then, and also I could just record a rhythm and then start putting some flowers, right?
Yeah,
Doing
yeah.
some,
Yeah, because
put
it
in
makes sense. Like with your pedal and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
but yeah, honestly, like if you ask me when you really broke the shell, like when you really felt like, oh, now I'm confident, I can put a show like by myself on my loop and stuff. This is not even, dude, 10 years or so.
Really?
Yep, and I'm playing for 20
How-
professionally and
how
getting
old are you?
paid. I'm 41.
oh no shit.
May
thought you were
5th,
younger.
my birthday. You
You're
can't.
really 41?
I thought
Yeah.
he was like.
You do not look
I
I thought he was
know.
younger than us.
Life's been good to me so far.
You Brazil people don't age. do
Hey.
you?
And honestly, if I shave, you're gonna think I'm one of your kids.
I should too if I should.
I know, Joey. I know we share the same magic. Yeah, but yeah, I'm doing professionally for 20 years this year,
Wow,
and
that's cool. And okay, like
yeah,
now,
22. I started at 22, right?
when you okay,
42. Yeah.
42 years, 20 years. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Now, when you came to Canada, we don't have to. We can get in that why or how and all that. But was it your plan when you got to Sudbury? Like, I'm music. I'm gonna play every night.
No, I kept. Man,
Let's
the
get
thing-
this. Yeah.
I came to Canada. It was like. It was like. It wasn't like when I came to Canada. I didn't stay. Like I stayed for 3 months.
Why
I
did you
di-
come? Why did you come the first time? Was
Okay.
it a girl right away?
No.
Was it your wife?
No,
No?
no. No, I had a girlfriend in Brazil.
But it's not you.
No, she's the reason why I'm here in Sudbury.
That's yeah.
But yeah, I had a girlfriend in Brazil, and then we broke up, and then I was I was already made my mind about moving to some country, so I could finally learn English and then practice, and because that's my thing, man. I'm self-taught in everything.
Right.
I went to university for I took HR, and I also took my degree in IT, my college diploma when I was like 18, 19. But the thing is, I have my own ways to do things, right? So I wanted to learn by practice, by speaking,
Right. Immersion. Get in there. Yeah. That's cool.
doing that immersion, right?
Yeah.
So I came to Canada first time. And of course, as an immigrant, like you couldn't work, so you couldn't do stuff.
Ah, yeah.
So you couldn't, and the only thing you could work was like the oddest jobs that you can think.
Right. Yeah. The jobs that probably no one else is. Yeah.
And some people say that I did some. I'm not sure. I could have. Like like you gotta make a ways, right? You gotta.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that's 3 months of this. Like
3 months of like what the
trying to
heck
make
I'm
it.
doing.
What am I gonna do?
So like yeah, I was 3 months here. I couldn't, and of course, like I was hanging out around some Brazilian friends. I was like, yeah, so I want to hit the scene. I want people know me, and like, hey man, forget about it. Like music, nobody's gonna really give you a chance. Honestly,
Wow.
yeah.
Where was this? Was in
In Toronto.
Toronto. Okay.
First time I came, the guys I was hanging out, and I was already like I started getting some gigs here and there, but festivals, like non-paid stuff,
Right. Right. Yeah.
like
I know all about
festivals
that.
here and there,
Yeah.
festivals, and like I was to hit every open mic in town I could, but I was still busy in the daytime doing
Right.
stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And for some reason, I had to go to Brazil. I had to go back. I had a surgery in my eyes before I came here. I was like, oh, since I'm going to Canada and I visit, but then explore, and if I like it, I will try to immigrate and find like a program that can officially become a resident or blah, blah, blah. And I was applying as a musician, right?
So what before just to segue was the reasoning to move here because you wanted to learn English?
Yeah.
That was like I got to go to Canada. I want to learn.
Yeah, I
English.
want to change the scenery. Like in
I see.
Brazil, I plateaued. I get to that
Right,
plateau
right.
that you can't actually, you either like go like, you make it big, or things just stop working. Because they get tired. Like and here eventually it can happen on the kind of job that I do, because I'm well aware that like doing bars, doing small things, which it sucks because sometimes we just want to be on that level and do things and live simple. But that's the thing about life. you gotta keep hustling. If you don't actually think on the next move, on the next stage, something gonna happen and swallow you.
Right, right. And then you're kind of
And
stuck.
then you're out of the,
Yeah.
that's why. So I was in a point in Brazil, like honestly, I was so comfortable, like making like great money, living by myself, my house by myself, my everything I wanted, traveling the world. I came to Canada before just to visit a year ago. After this
Right. Yeah.
adventure, I went to US to watch like big festivals, like concert music stuff. I went to Indio, California. I went to the desert trip. I went to Morocco, like to watch soccer. So I could do everything I wanted
Right.
just with my craft, playing music, living comfortably.
Bro, that's sweet.
Yeah. So, but
But you
know
needed
when,
something more.
and
I'm bored
also
now.
like I was playing on for people that they couldn't, they could vibe with what I was doing, but it's different when like here, like I sing a song, you actually get into that the message, right? What is that about? In Brazil, no, they're just listening to that noise and dancing, and most of my friends they don't know English enough to process what the song's about. And I was like, you know what? And even me, like I was singing a couple songs that I had no clue. And still, to this very day, sometimes I watch a movie or an expression or something, say, oh, so is that, because now I know it.
Right, right,
But
right.
back then, I didn't get much
Yeah.
attention to that. So I kind of wanted that. I had that in my heart. I don't know if it's because my godmother, I told you, lived here. I always picture her living in Canada. Blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what? I think I should go and try it. So I kind of wanted to go somewhere. I didn't know there was Canada yet. So I went to US. I visited there.
Okay.
And to be honest, like I didn't feel like it was my thing.
Right.
Because I think the way Canada is built, like by immigrants, right? And for immigrants mostly now, if you think about
Yeah,
it,
for sure.
the way things are going through.
100%.
And I felt so welcome here, man. As soon as I got here,
Sweet. Good.
and I was like, I just want to give back. I just want to learn the language, learn the culture, mix and match. I don't want to impose my culture at all. Like I'm still very connected to everything. My food, my music, my language. I was just on the phone with my mom when Joe was like, "Hey, buddy," I was like, "I'm just finishing here." My mom just called, so I'm very connected to my roots. But I wanna feel more Canadian, like I wanna this sense of belonging right now. Like
Right.
I'm here, I wanna make it here. My wife is here, my heart's here, my dog's here.
Right,
So
right, right.
if I keep thinking about Brazil, you guys saw my videos, my pictures while I was on vacation.
Oh, dude,
It's
you're having
amazing.
fun,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm not gonna lie, it's amazing. But if I just think about that, I would be miserable here. Like, oh, we're here, open the door, like there's a lot of snow.
Yeah.
So my dad, my mom, they're like, "Oh my God, we're melting here." It's like, and we have an in-ground pool at the house. So like,
Oh my God, yeah.
could be there, but
What do you think of the snow? Was it when you first came? Were you like, oh?
man, the
Does
thing
it
is, I
ever
think I have
snow?
my heart so set in like my goals and my, it never bugged me.
No,
Honestly, my wife is like, "Oh, I'm so happy that you never like." At the beginning, she was always concerned about me, like, "Okay, I'm done, bye." And she was like
Oh,
trying to make things like, bringing the heat up on the house, like making it as comfortable as possible so I wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
She didn't want to scare me at first, but it happened. Like I went to camp, first experience. Like we went there, like to the hot tub, and was like -30. And I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, I was with, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, and we were in a hot tub, which is hot as heck, right? I got to the point that was like, okay, I'm dating this girl. Her dad lives here. This is a hot tub. It's a hot water. And she just, oh, excuse me. I think I went to the bathroom. I was by myself. I was like, I'm just waiting to the point this guy's gonna come with the knife and start cutting veggies on top of me. I'm the supper, right? I'm dinner.
It's like Get Out. It's like Get Out, but for Brazilians. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna fucking.
What are we
cook
gonna
this
have
guy
for
in the-
supper? Are we gonna have Brazilian food? Imagine you're in a hot tub, man, 30 below, and you're like,
This is it.
yeah, this is it. Yeah,
This is it.
it was nice while it lasted, right?
In the snow in a hot tub.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And then, oh man, because you said chicken soup earlier. Cajon? You're an
Canja,
ac-
canja.
Canja. You're an actual canja.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We smoke ganja.
Ganja.
Ganja, that is ganja.
Yeah.
That's with the G.
Canja.
Now I'm lost. What I was talking about?
Oh. Okay, well, no, we went. You came here for 3 months. You had to go back.
Yeah, I had to go. Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, I'm going to Canada, so I might as well just get everything fixed, right? I'm
Right.
gonna get there. I'm not gonna have any health plan, blah blah blah. So I did the surgery because
Oh.
I used to wear glasses like you. No glasses.
Yeah.
Prescriptions.
So you got laser eye.
So I just did LASIK, yeah, and I did it, and it was fine. And then I got here, and then everything was blurry. Everything was like, wow. Then I called my doctor, good friend of mine. It's like, no, man, you need a retouch,
Oh shit.
but I need you here,
Oh boy.
which aligned perfectly. Like we were having this big. Was the first year that the new mayor, which is my bestie at the time, like I kind of played a big role in his election. So I was his like propaganda boy type
Oh yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Nice.
And he was like, man, I wish you were here. Like, we're going to put this big party, 20,000 people. You deserve to be here after everything you've done for my campaign and everything.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I think I will.
I'll come. Yeah.
It's like, no, but you just got there in Canada. So, yeah, but I got to go and check my eyes and blah, blah, blah. I say, really? Okay, if you want to play, I can keep you a slot whatever day. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I can be there on the Saturday, so I'd like to play on the Sunday. I picked the date I wanted to play, so
That's
they had
sweet.
this big headliners of each day, right? I think my day was a Creedence Clearwater Revival tribute band.
Wow, that's
So
cool.
I played before them. I kind of opened for them.
Nice.
It's awesome. And the night before was like a Brazilian stellar rock band, and the night before that was another big band. Like I'm talking about, like people that usually play for 100,000 people. So they played on this very humble stage on my
But
hometown,
you said
and I was part of the festival.
how many people were at this show though? 20,000.
On mine, on Saturday they had close to 20. On Sunday, because it was kind of wrapping up, I'd say altogether 10 when I played. I can show you the video. Yeah, it was nice. So we played there
Oh.
with this band, like a band. I have a band like it's called Rock Top in Brazil. So we play a little bit of everything, pretty much like Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, Beatles, and Pink Floyd,
Nice.
and then the Police, Queen, like rock
Yeah, like,
standards.
yeah. Cool.
So I went back. I played on Sunday. I went for an appointment on Monday to evaluate where I was, and I went to the surgery on Tuesday.
Okay.
So
Because I was gonna make a joke. You're playing, but you got the fucking big
No.
band out
I
there.
played first.
Doing the Stevie Wonder.
Next
there.
day I went. Next day I went to. Next day I went to evaluation, and then the day after, finally surgery, and then I had to stay low for a couple months and as soon as he gave me the green light, it's like, hey, you can go, you're good now. Then I came back, but that time when I came back, I forgot about everything. Like I heard, actually, I took that time to kind of get better prepared. Like I did a little bit of Duolingo to
Oh,
kind
I
of
see. Yeah,
to kind of polish some English. I was still like, and still when I got here, I was still very like, I wasn't that confident yet,
Right.
but with time, you start like developing
Oh,
like
yeah.
more vocabulary and see how
And
things works.
it's
and how
all you're
people
hearing
talk.
too, right?
Yeah,
it's
I
all you're
can-
hearing everywhere.
yeah.
So it's like you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
So how long have you been here now?
Right now, man, I can say I became a resident in 19. So yeah, no, but I came the first time. This one I had to go back was 17.
Okay.
But I came the last time I came like stay was 18.
Wow.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, it's gonna be
Wow,
7 years.
man. Wow.
Yeah, it looks
That's
it looks a little time, but trust me, it's enough
yeah.
to laugh and cry.
A
Oh,
lot of-
especially
lot of
when
shit
you're
went through.
figuring out things,
Yeah, man.
But like it's only been like blessings, and everything's been
That's good, dude.
fantastic. It's like
That's
quite an adventure. Like I left everything. Like I loved, first of all, right? Like my family.
yeah.
Now I have my own here. Like I have my wife, her parents, which I call my parents. Like they
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
embraced me. So that's why I'm so happy here. Like everything is like being home. Like
That's sweet, dude. Can
yeah.
you get dual citizenship? Can
I
you?
I
You haven't?
I
You're
do.
like
Yeah.
complete.
I just
Oh.
became a Canadian citizen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We talked about that. That's sweet,
I
bro.
was which is funny because I had a PR, right? Like a permanent resident last year. So, and I had my trip booked already to Brazil. So I was going with my PR. So, and I was already the things were moving in terms to the process. I already checked all the boxes. I did the you got to do like a proficiency test on the language to
Okay.
prove that you can speak English.
Okay.
And
Well,
then I
okay.
did like a general knowledge test, which you gotta know more than Canadians
Like what? Like
to be
what?
here.
Of what? About Canadian?
Everything,
Yeah.
everything.
The
You want to
culture?
know anything? You call me, man.
Oh, shit.
honestly, honestly,
That kind of stuff.
everything. Like
Fuck,
what was
man.
the first? Like when this happened? Revolution? No revolution because you guys are pretty peaceful. But
Everything
Yeah.
that kids learned in grade 4, 5,
Exactly.
6, all that kind of stuff.
which I heard you guys actually
Wow.
know more about U.S. than Canada.
Probably.
And
Yeah.
when you go to school, which I think is bananas, man. Like,
It's-
why not, right?
Yeah. But yeah, yeah.
Just silly.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
But like a lot of geography, history, stuff like that, like general knowledge,
wild,
like
man.
what's going on.
Some stuff about the treaties and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You
So
gotta know
yeah,
your
and
country if you
and
wanna
it's
be-
only it's like 20 questions, but you gotta hit at least 15. Otherwise, you fail, and then I don't know what happened. I hit 18. I only
okay.
missed 2.
That's sweet, man.
Yeah, thanks. And then they
Full-fledged
told me
Canadian,
like,
man.
now you gotta be
Awesome.
on hold and wait until we process and blah blah blah. And then it's funny because I'm a man of faith. So I was 3 weeks from my trip, and then I finally got to the point I could book the ceremony, which is now after COVID they start doing it all online, right?
Okay.
Over Zoom. So you go, there's the judge, does you swear, God save the king. Now he's the king, he's not the queen anymore. So
Right.
yeah, so when I was starting the ceremony, the girl asked me like, okay, so you have you have some trip booked or planned for anytime soon? So yeah, actually going to Brazil to visit in 15 days. It's like, oh, so we should not do yours because the first thing you gotta do in your ceremony, you gotta in front of the camera, you gotta chop your PR,
Oh, I see.
permanent resident
right,
card.
right.
So through that point, and then they would give me a certificate, a Canadian citizenship certificate, and with that I could apply for a passport. But they're having a backlog and
Right,
this and
right.
that. And then my wife was like, "What are you gonna do?" I say, "I'm gonna do what I always did. Like, gonna count on my faith, and it's gonna work itself out." She's like, "No, impossible." I was like, "Hold my beer." That's my last name, impossible. So I did the thing. It was awesome. Oh my God, it felt so good. So got my certificate next morning. Like as soon as I could, like I went to the Service Canada at no large. It's Lisgard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lisgard. I went there, booked the thing, and she's like, "Oh, this is gonna take like over 10 business days." So I say, "No, you can book it like that. It's gonna be here." And man, my passport got like 2 days before I took off to Brazil.
Holy dude. So what if it wouldn't have showed up?
I would still go and come back as a tourist, right, with my Brazilian passport,
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
which
yeah.
is nuts because like you're already married in the country, like you had a PR, now you're a citizen, and still.
Still
But
running
I
into-
ran the risk, right? I wouldn't cancel my trip, man. It was like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like
no,
every
for
time
sure.
I plan to go, I plan ahead of time, right? That's why when I go, I like going for a month,
Yeah. How long were you gone? You were gone a whole month.
6 weeks, yeah.
6 weeks?
5.
Nice.
Five.
Was it? You didn't bring your wife? Did your wife go with you?
No, not this time.
Oh,
No,
okay.
she was stuck into school and work.
Oh yeah. What does your
Yeah.
wife do for work?
She's a social worker.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she work right now. She's at Monarch, like those how you call that thing?
Monarch. I know
Yeah,
that.
the intermediate bedding. Yeah, she kind of managed
Okay.
one of the projects there. It's nice. She
Nice.
really like she's all for helping and
That's cool, man.
dealing with
So
like
you
stuff
met
like
her
that.
in school? How'd you meet her?
No, online.
Really? No shit.
I wasn't in Toronto.
She was in Toronto too, or was
No,
she?
she was here.
No shit.
Those apps, those crazy things, and
Damn. That's
yeah, I
awesome.
came to visit like Sudbury.
And you're
I
like,
don't know.
okay, welcome home, I guess.
No, I had no clue that I was gonna live here, man.
No,
It
eh?
just happened. Life happens, man. Like
Life happens, bro.
no doubt that things can happen all the time.
Yeah, man. That's wild. Dude.
Yeah,
But
but
that's a journey, man. That is
yeah.
a journey.
Yeah,
You've done a lot in those 41 years.
yeah, a lot, and I feel like I'm kind of moved by this. Now I already told her, like she was like sometimes we have some friends that live East Coast. We have cousins in the mountains, like in Calgary. They usually reach out and like, oh, you and Julia should come and try here. Like the scenery is so good. He would be a success. He could play here. People would love him. But the thing is, I told her, look, I left everything in Brazil. Then I came to Toronto. Nobody knew me. Then I had to make it work. Knock each door and ask for a chance. And then I finally got that. I was playing every night in Toronto, man.
Nice.
And then I met her. And then I came here. And my first year, we started dating. And then I was still back and forth, Toronto. And then we started like, I moved in and we started living together. And I still kept all my bookings in Toronto for the first year. So I got married. I still kept all my.
Wow.
And then when they start like, hey, let's book for next year, I was like, no, because I already married. I didn't get married to live on the
Yeah,
road.
right, yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and she's super okay with that. If that's the case, if that's really necessary, she supports me. But I told her, no, I want to make things work. That's why I'm saying it's so tricky when you just want to be on that position. Like, I want to make things around here. I just want to play here. I want to play the Daventry, and then over time, and then I don't want to be. I could have done that. I could have been doing this now. I have still my contacts in Toronto. They usually, they still call and message you like, "Hey, are you available?" I say, "No, buddy, I'm not living there
Yeah, I
anymore."
don't live
But
there,
if I
yeah.
put myself like that and start booking again, I can be busy there as well, or whatever you want, right? And you put yourself.
Yeah,
in,
you get to decide how much you want to put. And
Yeah.
right now, like in Sudbury, you're happy. Like you play everywhere, pretty much.
Yeah, I'd say yeah. Most of places, I can say that. Thankfully, every place I'd like to play, I've been playing.
Nice. Yeah.
Some places, it's not just not a fit. In terms of the crowd, in terms of expectations, it's not that. Like nobody is that perfect for every situation. You gotta understand that. Like sometimes you go to some places that it's not a fit. Like they don't like the kind of music you are. Like the way I play now, like with the loop and stuff. I had one venue. I would prefer not to mention, but
no, don't.
I
Yeah.
went there and like they start the manager like, oh, but the way you play is like it sounds like a band. It's too loud. So yeah, but that's the idea because come in with just a guitar and play. I think everybody else is doing right for you.
Yeah.
So that's my standout point. And she's like, no, if you can come and play without your
Pedal.
board. I say no, that wouldn't be me. So I would just hold myself to doing something that actually it's my standout point, right? Stand out like that one that
It's the X factor, man. It what makes
it's
you
my
you,
X
yeah.
factor. It's the
Yeah.
thing that I worked so hard to master to create my identity to now. Okay, so I'm gonna go there and she's gonna keep hiring me, but I'm gonna actually play exactly like she wants. And how about the people that are gonna come to see me? They're gonna expect that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Those flowers, Shane. They're like they want it. They want the flowers, man. They're like, hey, I want you to shred that thing. I want to hear distortion. Okay, play me some. I can't play like comfortably numb
Yeah.
acoustic. I gotta do that lead. And so yeah, that's an example. Like didn't some just this place so far that didn't work because they wanted something very, and some places as well, sometimes they want the music. Like I understand, like I've been doing this so long to understand that you're not the center of the thing. When you get to a restaurant, you gotta do background music
Right.
so people can talk and appreciate what you do, but also like enjoy a nice meal with them being like
Yeah, you're not the main event. You're just
You
your
know,
background music.
because if you play too loud, that thing can actually do the opposite. Instead of keeping person that oh it's too loud, let's
Let's
go.
go.
You know,
Yeah.
like and now I understand that. Like actually, I understand that a long time ago. But doing the in the professional level, you gotta understand what can you do to do the best thing for that situation, right? But there are some occasions that they wanted to play so low, so
Right.
quiet that um, you need that minimum punch to give you
Yeah.
that excitement, that itch,
Yeah.
like so you feel it in your. Because if you're not feeling it, how can you pass along,
Yeah. There's no energy. You're not able to
right?
get the energy. Yeah.
So now I always have my in ears and my on my case in case I need to go super quiet. So I keep it there and then I still rocking, but no, it's not,
It's not the
So
same.
honestly, in my opinion, like if you have a venue and if you want musicians play that quiet, don't do music. Put the radio on. Because honestly, like
It's true.
honestly,
Yeah.
like you guys, like most of people that I know that do music here, 90%, I think, they have a day job. So they take that as the 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 chance to go and do something for them, for their hearts, for their soul. And most of the time they're not even getting paid what they should. And on top of that, you want to rule the person and say, "Hey, I don't want it to." Pretty much, you're telling them, "I don't want it to have too much fun."
Yeah.
Right? The guy is doing stuff for you, like coming here, like you guys, 4-piece band, hauling gear, a lot of stuff, putting a hell of a show, bringing people over. And they even want to take that from you. Like, we don't want you to have fun. We don't want you to pay you accordingly, but we also don't want you to have
Yeah,
that
yeah.
much fun. So come on.
Yeah.
You
What's
know?
the point? Let me go back to the
So
bar.
like fortunately, like I can say that I'm on a circuit right now that I play very often. You guys know, like most of restaurants and the places I've been playing very often is the place that really treat me well. They're very very nice. I feel appreciated, like feel like they every time I got into even the staff like, hey, Falcon's here, like I love that kind of stuff. I really need that sense of, oh, I'm welcome here. They like having me
Yeah.
around, you know.
More confident when you go up and play.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Give more energy.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
and yeah,
And you have that community around you too.
yes, yeah.
And so like how is music or the scene different in Brazil? We talked about the style of music, but is there anything different as far as how people take in the music or at a bar? Like are there things we do that they don't or they do that we don't?
Well, Brazilians, my culture is very louder compared to Canada, right? Yeah.
Okay.
You guys have no idea. I barely talk when I'm here. Back home, man, it's crazy. Like we laugh and we shout and it's crazy. Yeah, even if you go to, I just showed somebody a video of Rush playing YYZ. You know the song?
I think so.
That's the no lyric instrumental.
It's instrumental. They're playing in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The crowd is singing the song, dude. Oh, loud as F.
Oh, that's awesome.
So imagine for the band, like Gary Lee's, Alex Lifeson, Newport. There was like, what? They had the time of their lives.
no kidding.
Like,
The energy that's
Yeah.
just being.
so, like my idol, like Dave Gilmour, he never been to Brazil. He went to in 2015, which I went to 2 shows. He played twice in São Paulo first before he goes to the shows that I attended. The first show he played, he said, is the best show of my career. I never seen an insane crowd like that. It's crazy. Something is different here. I've been to Rock in Rio, man, like amongst like 200,000 people. I watched like the Chili Peppers Saturday. Sunday was like half of that crowd because I think something happened on the Saturday. They opened the gates at some point because honestly, man, I would take my foot here, I would put it again, and somebody was like, I was already here, so sorry.
Oh
Like,
wow.
That
cramped,
crowded. Like
sardines,
I
man.
felt like I was a sardine in a can.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
dude.
on Saturday. In the Sunday, I watched like Metallica, Slipknot, Motorhead, but it was like half of that. But still, man, it's insane. Like the way that they
So music is
almost play together.
right. It's like they want to give
They root
energy.
for the band.
Yeah,
they
bro.
look at you. It's crazy.
That's so
It's
sweet.
a vibe, man. It's a vibe.
And just the fact that your buddies pulled you out of your bed to go play a show and they wanted you up there, I can't see that being in our culture.
No, I don't know.
That's cool, bro. That
Yeah,
your
I
friends would be
know.
like, "We want this guy. He can do it. Let's get him out there." I
Yeah.
love it, man. That's
Yeah.
so sweet.
Yeah.
They have that vibe of like give the energy to the musician.
And
Give us
honestly,
music.
Eric, is that,
Eric.
how you go invite today? Because I know, right? dadbOdd. I know you have 5 Tinder names. I know somebody told me I don't have Tinder. Okay.
Oh,
I'm
shit,
kidding.
me neither, bro. Oh man.
I used to, but back in the day.
Yeah, me same. Aaron did this fight, but it's actually bullshit though. I can't do it. It's just it was a pain. Anyways, Eric.
Eric. Okay.
I'm me today, bro.
Okay.
We all call him Myron because there were so many Erics in high school.
Yeah,
so
okay.
We call him by his last name.
Myron.
Myron. My close friends, people from my past call me Myron. New people don't, but you can call me Myron, bro.
Myron. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Eric. I'm gonna make it easier.
Yeah, wait, man, it's good.
Because every time I read that thing, I almost call you Miron because it's how I would say it in
You can
Portuguese.
say it, dude. Miro
Miro? Is it
Miro
French?
is French. Yeah.
So you would be wrong.
Yeah, man.
Myron.
Then we say it in a weird way. I don't know. You started it. You started that, bro.
Myron.
Myron, yeah.
I don't remember starting it. That's
But it's a Miro.
Miro.
Miron.
Miro is Eric
Miron.
Miro. Français pur.
So like even here, I really feel like now I think I'm getting used, but I was like, fuck, man, I go see people play, and I see they have friends that play as well that do the same thing. They're there like for 20 years, friends, and people don't have that thing that, oh, you want to come and play a song.
Yeah.
And I do that every time I see you or see somebody. Say, hey, if I'm gonna take a break, I say, hey guys, if you wanna, or especially if people are into like trying to be introduced to the venue or whatever. Say, hey man, I can go and put a word for you if you want, because man, the more you help people, the more life help you back.
Oh,
you
dude,
know, like,
it's karma. You put the positive out there.
and I've been helped a lot, so why not? You know,
Yeah,
it's like
pay it
I'm
forward.
not that selfish when it comes to that. Like, and even doing the open mic now, I already got some critique about like people like, oh, you building this thing, so you kind of creating more competition. I say, dude, the thing is,
no competition.
no. First of all, there's no competition. You gotta compete with yourself.
That's 100%.
You gotta be better than you was yesterday.
100%.
And other thing, man, like the market will select. If the person is good enough, you're gonna stick. If not, bye.
Yep.
You know.
And then it forces you to get better anyway.
And
Yeah.
I wish I don't think about level, but honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I don't know. Maybe we do, but I wish we had like 100 people doing the same thing I'm doing, on a way better way that I do. So that would put me in the game that I wanna,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
not that compete with them, but like, oh, I need to be in that, you know, because you level from the top, not from the bottom.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because sometimes you're way too comfortable. Like, oh, okay, there's nothing new happening. There's nothing. Nobody's bringing something new to the table or same repertoire. Like, man, like I still have that careful of nothing of never playing like the same show. Like people never know what they're gonna
What's it-
expect when I
right.
go up with some artists in town. Like you can even say, oh, he's gonna start with this, gonna end with that, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know, yeah, right.
Because I don't know if it's a limit thing or if it's like a laziness thing.
I
But
think you're just so into music more than most people, bro. And like just where I think the culture is just different. Where
yeah,
it's just
I think so too. I
like-
told Shane on Dave's garage that day. Remember, guys, you gotta understand that I know at least 10,000 more songs because I grew up listening to Portuguese Brazilian music, which
Right.
is very rich. We have bands there, man, like Brazilian rock bands. They have more followers than Brian Adams, then
Holy
you
fuck.
know, like because Brazil,
Yeah.
first of all, is 8 times bigger in population than here.
right.
So
Yeah.
like every famous person, like they have at least 5 million followers. You know, it's
yeah.
crazy, it's insane. So the bands there, they're super big. Like the country music in Brazil, they put like $1 million structure light show on their thing, like, and you pay like almost like a minimum wage to go to that thing.
No shit.
Yeah, some festivals like insane. Like it's not for regular people. Like everything is super high end.
Yeah.
When
Okay.
it comes to that, so you gotta
Okay.
plan ahead of time. It's not I'm going. Yeah, here too. Like if you go for, I heard like Springsteen ticket was going from $1,200 when they went to Toronto, right? Some
Yeah, $350 for Blink-182 tickets.
yeah, right. Some stuff are like
yeah.
nonsense. Hockey games are nonsense, right?
Fucking nuts,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
So like, but like in Brazil, like I'm lucky enough to grow up on that culture. So it's so like
It feels like there's so much
diverse.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know. To me, it just feels like music. I think here in Sudbury, the culture is not music first. It's very blue collar. It's very like work, go with your toys, play in the. I'll take a water. Yeah.
oh please, oh yeah.
So like growing up for us, it would be more like music's a pastime. It's fun, but I feel like for you, it was like music is like it's a thing. It's like a fucking.
You're gonna show the barman. We have a handsome barman here, guys.
Yeah.
I hardly encourage you. If you got the invitation, you should come. Especially
Oh,
the
yeah.
girls. And he's single.
There you go. But yeah, I think like the culture.
Thank you very much, Shane.
You're welcome, brother.
Yeah, man. So I find it really interesting just how present music was and how huge and how much you did, like how much you played. We talked about drugs earlier, and I'm thinking like you weren't being lured or tempted by the bullshit, or maybe you were. No, you wanted to play. Like fuck it, the music.
Yeah.
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And you could tell, man, just seeing you up there, like you have this confidence. It's like almost like you're. It's like you're at home.
You know what, Eric?
It's
It's an
wild.
exercise. To be honest with you, what it is, I tell you right now. I see a lot of people with talent around us, our community, right? The musicians. I see a lot of people. They go to the stage and they feel like they're so worried about what people gonna think.
Yeah.
They're so worried about the judgment. And
Yeah.
honestly, buddy, if you're gonna go that route, you're already losing. Honestly, if you're gonna think like that, like you're never gonna be good enough.
Yeah.
Like I know I have so much room to improve and to learn different stuff. You can ask my wife how much I practice and I play. I play every day, but I should practice more. I should, get into more stuff even. I feel that. Sometimes I feel like even though I know and she recognizes and people that are closer to me, they know that how much passion and time I put in that thing. And I know I could do better. But I also need to be kind to me. I was like, come on, like
You've done a lot. You play a lot.
You work, you pay bills, you got,
Yeah.
you got
and
take
man,
care of yourself,
and if you're
all that.
gonna measure yourself through anybody else's ruler,
You're never
know?
gonna be enough.
And
Never.
you don't want you gotta set your goal like this is how I want to be seen. I want to be seen like a person that is doing a good job. It's being fair to my core, to my to my craft, and
Yeah.
I don't think I'm better than anybody. Trust me. I know some stuff I do it like more effortlessly than some people. Some stuff.
You also
okay?
have the time and work you put
There's
in.
a lot of things, man, that you master that I have no clue. We need to get to that conversation. Some people they think, oh, he doesn't make mistake. He doesn't, man. Honestly, like I watch so much interview. Like I was just watching a Stevie Lukather interview. Stevie Lukather, the guitarist from Toto. And he
Okay.
produced like Michael Jackson stuff. He was like one of those
no
studio
shit.
rats, like of L.A. He was like one of the most.
Well, listen to the song Africa.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, yeah, he's a
So he
killer
did all that, yeah,
guitarist,
yeah.
And he was talking about this, how people think that he doesn't have any more challenges or because he mastered everything, because he's so good. It's not like that. Everybody still feel like I'm sucking at this. I suck a lot of technique. I don't have techniques. I just make things work the way I'm gonna show you later while I play. You know,
yeah,
like,
we're gonna. Yeah.
I make things work on my way. I develop the way that would sound good for me, because what tells what's your style is your limitation. If you're good like
That is a good
everybody
point.
else, you're just gonna be one more. What actually stand out, what your standout point is, that limit that you
Yeah.
can't
And
cross.
you're pushing against
And then you
it.
put it, yes, and then you try to, your cracking point, like when you're singing, where your extension, I just can come to here.
Yeah.
This is my point, but I'm gonna do the best way when I get there.
Right.
So that is what define you and actually make you unique, right?
Yeah,
And so I see some people, man, so worried about, oh, I'm not even gonna go to that stage if I can't play as good as Eric. I'm not even gonna. And I was like, dude, honestly, I just told you my story. I exposing myself to you, like all my weaknesses, because I have no problem. I want people see that. You see me as a successful musician now, playing effortless, and your views, not on mine. I'm struggling most of the time, but people like, oh, you do this so natural, but I wasn't born doing that.
Yeah.
It was a process, man. It was a journey into. I'm telling you, I'm doing this for 2 decades. Only on the last decade or little after, I started actually feeling like, oh, so I can go to Canada and play music and people gonna like.
Right.
I didn't have this confidence like 15 years ago.
People want it now. They think, oh, you're just good.
Right?
Julio,
I want to be
you're
like
just
you. I
good.
want to do like you do. Like, oh,
Yeah.
the loop thing. I want to do that too. So yeah, man, you want to do that. So you're gonna
Practice.
let's go back to the beginning of the conversation. Your mom's gonna call you for supper. You're not gonna go. You're gonna still
You're
keep-
gonna play the loop.
right?
You're stuck on that thing.
And I promise you, buddy, if you do that, one day you're gonna wake up and it was like, oh, I made it.
Yeah.
Here, yeah.
Oh, it's working. Oh, so what's the thing? The calluses. I tell people, like, the great musicians, which is not my case, the great guitarists and guys, they barely have calluses because they figured out that you don't
You
you
don't have to
don't
push.
need that much pressure. I still have some because sometimes I'm so hard on the thing because I'm struggling, right? But when you actually understand that, oh, so I need half of that pressure to get that sound,
Get the note. Yeah.
to get that
Oh.
note come, because that's the thing. You don't need all that pressure, man. You put that because that come with your
Well, nerves,
anxiety,
everything.
nerves,
yeah.
and
yeah.
your lack of confidence.
Right.
That's what makes you push that thing so hard. The more you practice, the more you master the stretches. Like you ever try to do that lick, like a message in about ding 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 ding, ding, that spider.
Right.
kind
With
of
like
record.
the pinky stretching.
Yeah, the pink stretch. When you start doing that thing, I started doing that thing. I was like, oh, that's impossible. You jump a fret and you do like this,
Yeah.
and then you practice until your day.
Small hand, but I got a fun stretch.
I have a friend. This was his trick. He was a phenomenal guitar player. He lives in London, England. Fabio. Shout out to Fabio. He's gonna watch this, I bet you. So he is one of my influences as well. Like he always gave me tips and this and that. He was doing this exercise, not satisfied with how hard this thing was. He used to put like elastic bands on his fingers
Just force it.
to force, and barely could, and he would do it with the elastic. He could do the thing with the elastic. So imagine when he would take the
Yeah.
elastics off. He's like, okay, that's it.
That's
You know?
awesome.
So he was doing like extra hard, and so when he had to go without the bands, it was like
It's not hard.
It's easy. Yeah. But you have to do it over and over.
over and over, man. Everything, that muscle memory. We are humans. We only learn things throughout the process of repetition. Repetition.
You got to do it.
You studying, right? If you study, I just saw guys saying this. There's no such thing as a group study. That's bullshit. If you want to study is a very solo act. You got to do it by yourself. No noise. If you want to listen to music
Almost like a meditation of some type. You gotta get.
and you want to learn, when you write it, you gotta, whatever you're into, like you're
That's how I
attending
do
to a
it, too.
class, you write it. You can grab the piece and throw it out, but you gotta write it down with your
To
own
get the message
Yeah.
all the way to your hand, there's
Yeah.
some shit going on
Yeah.
extra.
some.
Yeah.
I think it's the right side of your lobe, right, that actually memorize that when you write.
when you're writing
down.
it.
Yeah.
When I learn lines for movies, I'll write it
Script
3
and stuff,
times on
yeah.
top of itself. I'll write
To
it all once,
memorize
Yeah.
your lines.
and then somehow it can it's in there.
Yeah.
Not for long.
Because you're writing, right?
Because you're writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, eh?
Yeah, but it's
Music as well. Like you can't like when I'm doing even my work, when I'm doing like graphic design stuff, I listen to music all the time, 24/7 at the house. But when I'm doing some work, I either listen to something instrumental, or I listen to a foreigner type language. I listen to Chinese music.
So you're not drawn in.
So I don't know what it's talking
Yeah,
about.
it's just
I
a
listen
melody.
to
It's just a-
Hungarian punk rock, you know, like a it's like okay, I'm working like I have that adrenaline, right?
It's the energy more than
The energy,
message.
yeah, man.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
And I came from that school, right? Like I fell in love about the songs that I love to this day, not knowing what they're talking about. So
Yeah.
that for me is natural.
Yeah, that's wild. They did think like you just fall in love with music, but it's all shit you don't understand.
Oh, another thing,
wild.
another bracket. I was talking to Shane, I guess, that day, how actually the fact that you guys are so into. I don't think about you guys because you're all bilingual, right? You all are used to a second language, but I think when you are like English, or French, and you, especially let's talk about English, like people just speak English. I noticed this. Sometimes I want to show things to people, like, oh, listen how rich, how beautiful this chord progression, and it's a song like is it either whatever, like let's say it's a Brazilian song because the one that I know most, and then people usually don't pay attention.
No, eh?
They don't feel like
They need the
you don't have
lyrics.
that hook, you
to
know.
be
You don't
connected.
cap their attention because they're like, yeah, it's nice. Say no, dude. Honestly, like, get rid of all those dogmas, stigmas, whatever. Like, I know you don't understand what is on the song, but think about
What's happening in it?
the melody,
Yeah.
the chords. Look, there's a piano so subtle. Can you hear that? Because you don't know what they're talking about, you don't give a shit about the song.
It
You
doesn't.
know?
Feeling though, if
It's-
you're listening,
yeah.
it'll bring a feeling with
Yeah.
it, and then you can be drawn into the song in a different way, right? But if you don't understand, like when you don't understand the lyrics, that's all you have is that feeling.
Yeah.
And so it's a different experience altogether
I think being
than if you're
bilingual,
hearing words.
also being bilingual, we use different tones than just English, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Same with probably
Portuguese.
Portuguese,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You're making these different sounds, so we're already tuned to hearing different.
Yes.
You're more open
Yeah.
to the
these
experience.
different- yeah.
But I think if you're a musician, you're gonna hear like personally. You could show me a fucking Hungarian punk, and I'll listen to everything but the lyrics. You know what I mean? Like we want to hear all that what's in there, all the nooks and
what's
crannies.
The,
and what
the
is-
construction process,
How
right?
did-
Like,
yeah.
how did it come with this riff? Oh, that influence. I could on my next song. I could maybe use, you
Yeah.
know, that
the rhythm of that
punchline.
riff. Yeah. Give it that little thing. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And-
man.
And that's my thing. That's why some people like my friends when they come to my home studio, like, oh man, I show my process, my project stuff I have in my drive, and they're like, oh, it's so creative. It's like, yeah, man, because I listen to songs all the time. I listen to different songs. I listen to different cultures, not only Brazilian. I love like Italian music. I listen to. Sometimes I take a whole day to listen to stuff like Asian stuff. Like right now, man. Like honestly, if you're ignoring what's going on in the world, like Asia, like China, India. So most of those artists, that the big ones, they have more followers than I bet you, like
Some of like these bands, these
you
English.
know,
Yeah.
maybe
yeah.
even Taylor Swift. I would dare to say,
Whoa.
because like I'm talking about China. You get a big Chinese guy, pop Chinese guy.
Yeah.
He has like
That's
1 point something billion
yeah.
audience
You look like
only in
K-pop.
his country.
Yeah.
Not even talking about the Chinese people in Vancouver,
Yeah. That are
in
that know it.
Toronto,
Right,
in
right,
Markham.
right.
So it's such a broad atmosphere that you can reach. And if you're ignoring this, if you're ignoring the music, the K-pop phenomenon,
It's huge.
you know,
Yeah.
if you're ignoring like right now we have that, yeah, 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 na, 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 na. Every time you go to a club, they're playing that song. It's an Indian song, right?
Okay,
You know what I'm talking
I
about.
don't know.
When
I might have heard it. I don't know.
la 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 na 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 na. It's a very
Fuck, I don't get out to the
it
club
stick to
often,
my
though.
head, right? It's super like catchy.
Yeah, but that's the melody that just it
Yeah,
doesn't matter
and
what
man,
the
I
words
listen
are.
to that. I don't get a thing of the guy saying, but it's catchy. It's it's nice. It's like, and if you open your heart and your ears to that, like,
Yeah.
especially you guys that do like production and stuff,
Yeah.
you increasing, man, your vocabulary on a level that you have no idea, because now you have way more tools in your belt that person that's only limiting himself into listen
The
to
one
English
language.
music or French music or Brazilian music.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I think about this, I think it on a broad way, in like broad way, like in a wide, um, spectrum. Like
Yeah.
everything's possible.
And music is a language on its own.
Yep.
So it's like why not hear it all? It doesn't matter what's being said in the melody. It's fucking melody.
You
Just
know
take
what,
it in.
Eric? But a lot of people, they tend to romanticize what you just said. They don't live that. They say it like, oh,
I'm like that.
music,
Yeah.
but they don't really are open to different stuff. They don't actually, on the daily basis, listen to different things.
Yeah.
They're so into like, and that's, sorry, my friend, but if you take that route, you're going to be limited.
Yeah,
I
you
think.
gotta open it up
Yeah,
to
we live in a global world, like you wear like, I don't know, like,
this came from the UK. This came from Bath.
right?
Yeah.
This came from China. Look, I bought this shirt.
It says made in China.
Look at it. Look at this. Added your logo text here.
Very sure.
From China too.
You know,
Yeah. Everything. A lot of this shit. In this
fun
room-
fact. You know why I'm wearing this? I was like, you know what? I was in the website and I was like, okay, gonna buy this. I'm gonna put my soccer team logo here. And so when I finished the purchase, I figured out there was no option for that. I could still ask for a refund. And then I went to check the comments. People was like, such a bullshit. This is a scam. What the heck? My shirt just got at home and I can't customize it. It's this. And I could have before I pay. But I was like, you know what? I gotta keep it.
kinda
I like
fucking cool,
it.
dude.
That's a good scam. That's
And
a good Canadian humor. Now,
It is.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
in, buddy.
It's not that I'm selling this big billboard, okay, guys? If I charge by square feet, huh?
Oh,
Imagine.
fuck. That's funny.
It's coming, man. It's coming.
Yeah.
You play enough shows there. You can show the logo on the face.
Imagine.
Big time, yeah.
Yeah, your company here.
Yeah, man. There you go. You just wear your shirt just full of fucking ads and shit.
Hey,
I'm the
not
Falcon.
I'm not a Formula One pilot, okay?
Yeah.
Yet.
Can you imagine that? Then you're doing solos. You're like, oh, turn around, fucking.
Right?
You gotta show got that.
Oh, this amazing song was sponsored by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on to something. It's a good idea. Let's make some money, boys.
Monetize, baby. Monetize.
Well, we all wear like logos and shit on our shirts, like the Nike swoosh. Like we're carrying around logos. We're ads. We're boards basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we should. You fucking at least we'll get paid for it. That's how I see it, anyways. Or we could just
Right?
talk about. You can put your ad here.
There was no option to
Love
add
it.
After,
I love it.
Hilarious.
that's something I would totally do too. Though. I'd be like, oh yeah, sweet. I'll get my. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, and I'd keep it too,
Where
though.
was I supposed to put this?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay. And then I started reading like the comments below, and people were like, stupid. This guy. Say, okay, so I was scammed. Okay, let's.
It makes it that much better.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, oh, I got
I
it.
say, okay, I'm not canceling the purchase. Like I gotta go through all the way through.
Yeah, then you
You
just,
gotta learn your lesson.
and you got a story. You got a story.
Yeah,
out
and
of
now
it.
I'm showing you to the world. I was scammed, guys. I fell for it.
I'm one of you. We
I
have a
proudly
community-
fell for
yeah,
it.
Proudly, yeah. So I had a question I wanted to ask you just about, well, obviously about music, but if you could pinpoint one fundamental piece of music, be it tempo, rhythm, melody, harmony, what do you think is the most what is the most beneficial to put your time and effort into?
Mm. Man, honestly, I think everything is equally important. To be honest, like,
Yeah.
of course, like, first of all, like instrumental. wise speaking, like if you're gonna learn a guitar, you're gonna play the guitar, and the more you play the guitar, the more you're gonna understand the touch, the wood, how the things work, the effort. I say sometimes you don't need that much pressure,
Right, right.
and of course, eventually your tempo, your notion of rhythm is gonna,
Yeah.
because when you think about production or music and quality, the final product, if there's the slightest thing, you record a lot, you do your own edition, right?
Yeah.
So, man, when something is like slightly off, how much that bugs you. So, there's not a component that you could actually skip, like, oh, focus on this and forget about that. No, you
Yeah, I
could,
can't forget, but
yeah, you could make your schedule around things and maybe tackle more like rhythm, okay, but still your sense of melody, your
Right.
melodic and harmony. Harmony is the thing also, because the kind of music you guys stand like, especially like campfire songs, they're very simple. So you play natural chords, so you don't apply yourself to learn like dissonance, like
right.
stuff
Yeah,
like
like where you're the
stretch
intervals
those
of
fingers and
right.
intervals and like those jazz chords. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
those different like odd and weird like
Diminished or the tension holders.
it's like
and then
yeah,
you,
because that's
yeah.
what is music about, right?
Tension and release, 100%. Yeah.
So you gotta create that situation that you gotta attract the person, like the attention, and to the point that okay, now I resolve and now I release, and now the person like, oh,
Yeah.
that feeling.
It's like you fall. It's like when the roller coaster goes, whoa, you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, but then you
Yeah,
land again.
depending what the
What the feeling you
you
want
wanna
to
you
get,
wanna
yeah.
get, right? Like
Yeah.
sometimes you wanna just that sense of longing, that sense of happiness. So you're gonna use a major here. Oh, the dark, somber, sad. So you're gonna use like the
Go with the
blues,
minor,
all about
yeah.
minors. You
Yeah.
know?
That's
Yeah.
cool.
But no, but answering your question like about practice, man, like practice is like practice anything and practice a different instrument. Like I practice piano sometimes. I'm not a pianist. I just play enough to do some recordings when I need like a track on my production stuff.
Right, right.
um so I do here and there. In the studio you can play anything.
Oh, yeah,
just
you
come
just
and
shift
tweak
it.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do everything MIDI and then I pretty much coding, right?
There you go. Yeah,
It's pretty much coding. Like
Yeah.
you do it and then you tweak.
You just tighten it up and then
Yeah,
okay,
I
good to
can't
go.
do like at first sight. I can just go and fly on the fly, play like I'm confident on the guitar, on the bass, but like even like ukulele. If I don't touch my ukulele, which sometimes I go like a month without touching it. So when I pick that thing, I'm like, oh, so where's the chord maps? Okay, so this is a G, this is a C. It takes me like 10 minutes until I get, familiar again, and then I play whatever. So that's another thing too. Like go to different stuff, like practice different stuff. Practice. My wife is like, why do you need 40 guitars? Because I have 5 and odd tunings.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
sometimes you trying to create something, you feel stuck, and then you pick a guitar on that Nashville tuning, or open D, or you start playing stuff and like, oh, it sounds so romantic and charming, and so okay, and then you pick one with just the natural and you complement that thing,
Right.
exploration. I think you gotta explore, like explore the most you can, like practice, like have fun on the process actually, and create that culture that is not work, is not something that you have to do because you're on a schedule or a clock. Oh, I need to practice. You're gonna start like 1 hour practice a day, but then we're gonna get to the point it's gonna be so pleasant that you're not gonna see as
The
a
time-
chore
right.
again. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I gotta go home because I gotta practice. Oh, I have this idea. And so
Yeah.
naturally, it's gonna become part of you and part of your day schedule routine.
Okay.
That's my tip. Like that worked for me. Like I do it. I don't even think about it. I just do it, man. And I'm fortunate enough, like the style of life I have. Like I have a day job. Like I work from home, so I make my own schedule most of the time. Sometimes I have a meeting here and there, or sometimes I have like an early gig. Like I play like some places like lunchtime.
Oh yeah.
Or like now in the summer I play like cruises. So I need to leave home before 7 to go to Spanola,
Oh,
and
wicked,
to
yeah.
hop on board at like 11, and I come home like 6 p.m. because it's like a all day type gig.
Well, what like a
Boat. You play
company?
on a boat.
Yeah, but like what boat?
I'm booked again this week, this year to play at. It's called North Line Cruise. It's amazing, man.
Okay,
And the guys, the crew, the stuff is so nice.
How big of a boat? Kind of like the
Oh,
William
this
Ramsey,
one
or-
is like a double deck, but I'd say it has like a restaurant room, pretty much like those like nice square tables, super neat. Like this guy, man, is super nice guy, Chris Blogett,
Nice.
and the captain. Um, and yeah, he took a couple years to put it together. Like he's so like careful with the details and everything.
Right.
So he has like everything, like a full bar. So he has like the bartenders. Like you feel like you're on a bar,
But you're on the water.
But you're on the water.
That's cool.
And when the weather is nice, like it's not too windy, or so he sells like the top level as well. So they have full bands playing there, man. Full bands, like 5-6 piece bands, and I'd say he could accommodate easily 80, pushing maybe 100 people. I played one of the cruise. I played twice so far. Once with the first time was with Rob Patterson, that was the feature yesterday.
Okay.
The fiddle guy. Yeah, he booked me, and then he was like, "Oh, I have a budget if you want to bring a different side, like
Like an opener,
instrument."
like yeah.
No, instrument.
Oh, I
like
see, I see.
accompaniment type thing. I was like, "Well, I already do the thing
Everything
by
with the
myself,
pedal,
right?"
yeah.
But he's like, "No, I love violin. If you can get like a violinist," I was like, "Oh, I have one." And then I reached out to him. And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it, man." He's super nice guy,
That's
super
cool, man.
great guy.
Oh, violin's amazing.
And he
too.
came and he just picked stuff on the fly, right? I'm playing here and just okay, boom, boom, and then we have some chemistry already. We did a lot of stuff together.
So how long do you play on this boat here?
So this one is usually like we do in town, like 345s on the bars,
That's
three
sweet, yeah.
345s. Yeah, it's like because he has different routes, right? Some routes, he has like, it's like this one was like 2 in, 2 back, like 2 hours in, 2 hours back.
Okay.
But he have one that go from Little Current,
Yeah.
the island, all the way to Lake Topaz in Killarney. It's like 4 hours.
Oh, my
And
mom
then
makes that
4,
trip.
and
Yeah.
you see the glacier, the
Oh.
water. They say it's like Gatorade blue. I told him, man, this year I want to do that one. The
Oh,
way you have
dude.
it, and he's super nice. He even told me like, if I'm not booked to that one, and if space, like I can even come and bring my wife. He's like, no, you're welcome. You can.
Oh, that's sweet.
He's super
bro.
nice guy. Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's a really interesting gig.
Yeah.
That
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's something you wouldn't get to do in Brazil for sure.
Oh no! If you go to the beach, yeah. I
Well, I
used to do
guess,
that.
but yeah, you're not looking at glaciers and
No,
but,
no, no,
but
no,
yeah,
no, no. We don't have snow enough
No.
to make a
Has it
glacier.
ever like how much does it snow there?
We have in the south, or like it's been more often now. Like every year, pretty much, we having a little bit, but it's like powder, man. Like honestly,
No, yeah,
doesn't
okay.
even stick. Doesn't
Right.
even stay enough to make a snowman. As I see, I never seen snow in Brazil. I never been to these places they have. No,
Wow, that's yeah.
because it's very limited, right? There's a certain region there, like on the extreme south, almost like Uruguay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to look at the map in my brain here. Like Brazil, it's center. It's the biggest country, right? Right in the center of South America.
Yes.
What's
Yes,
at the very
center-
bottom?
Center east.
Chile's along the side, right?
Yes. Chile and Ecuador is the only one that Brazil doesn't make frontier with, border with.
Okay.
Brazil doesn't meet Chile and Ecuador. No. Other than that, Brazil has frontiers, borders with all the other ones.
Okay.
Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Uruguay.
They got good cocaine in Brazil. Is that what it was?
They might. They
It's Colombia. Never mind. Yeah.
might. They might.
They might. Who knows? I'm just fucking with
Yeah,
you.
if you go to the capital, especially Rio, Sao Paulo,
Oh, I believe it.
yeah, there's a lot of traffic there, like
Oh, yeah.
touristic places, right? So people go
Yeah.
to have fun. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of want to see you play. I kind of want to see you play. Bro.
really, is that time?
I don't know. How long we been chatting? I don't want to go too.
It's
it's freezing a lot.
Yeah.
We're at 152
Oh,
What the fuck?
already.
2 hour.
You get lost in Narnia. This is like
this is Narnia,
you
man.
get lost in here. No
Man,
windows, man.
you
it's
know what?
dangerous.
Yeah.
You know what? When I know exactly what you're talking about because, as I told you, when COVID hit, I start figuring out what to do and how to do and set up cameras, and then I start going live and improving. At every live, I was figuring out light and stuff. You can go to my Facebook page. You're gonna see a bunch of them, and you're gonna tell the difference. Until I got to the point, I was like, you know what? I should monetize this. I should start doing this and make
Yeah.
like a living out of this. And then I start following a guy,
It's your sound.
and he's on what's that platform? A big platform.
Oh, like
Instagram?
no,
eh,
Twitch.
Twitch. Yes.
So he's on Twitch, and of course he's playing, and then people, join the live thing, and you start like giving shout outs and oh buddy, and people start like buying him. Don't know how many stars. Some people send straight like dollars, blah blah. I think that's addicting, man. I told my wife if I start doing this and on my basement, like I think honestly, days gonna go by without me noticing.
Right.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
just keep playing, doing my life for nothing. I I did so many lives. I got one time one friend from Toronto. He's like, Julio, Falcon, give me your email. I want to send you money for a beer if you play this and this song. Say no, man, I can play for you right now. And then I played. It was a Spanish song. This guy is from. It's from some Spanish country. I don't think he's from Ecuador or Mexico. I don't know. Super nice guy. He was the only person that I played, and he sent me $100 on my e-transfer. I put my email in the comments, and I was like, this guy might be joking, right? He's gonna send me like $10. He sent me $100. That was the only time I never asked for, but I was like, imagine if I start doing this and start getting paid. On top of my passion and everything, still making money. I was like, I'm never gonna see sunlight again.
No.
That's why, like, I didn't get, and I need to go out. I need to walk the dog, and, be active and exercise and work out. I was like, so I understand exactly what you're talking about. It's so good. Like, you start talking and.
Oh, you forget the world is even out there, man. You're in here. You're music. That's what takes over. It's awesome.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hope I didn't say much bullshit today. We
I
get
don't-
more lovers than haters.
Oh, that was great, dude.
I have a lot of. I gotta be cautious with the way I speak, and some stuff is not even a language barrier. And my wife tells me about this a lot, because some stuff culturally for me, it's normal. But here, if you say, it's gonna sound either arrogant or
I see.
not correct or not, and even some words like the N word.
Oh yeah.
The N word. In Brazil, we called your friend affectionately. You can say it.
In Brazil?
Oh,
You say
man.
here too, buddy. You
Man,
say here
in Brazil, it's like affectionate. It's affectionate. Like you sing, I have some friends, like I can just talk to them. And sometime I'm telling this, I talk this at the house, my wife, like you did.
Yeah.
Please, never,
say that. Wow,
never.
eh?
Yeah, it's crazy. I respect that, and I understand the
Yeah.
context where I am. That's why I say, like, I decided to live here. I need to know how to behave and how to do things the smoother way as possible.
Right.
But I need to be very careful with the certain things that for us is so normal. Certain jokes or certain. The same way you guys have some attitude, like. That for us is like, oh, that's weird. Like, why they do that?
Yeah. Oh, I lost the light.
I think it's about time.
But yeah, that's interesting though. The difference in how we're just so sheltered here. We don't realize, and you are there. We're so unaware of what's happening everywhere else. And this takes me back to what you said about all the different music in the world. It's such a big world with so many cultures, and we just know ours, and we're like, that's the one.
And you know what?
And
really,
it's not.
No, you know what really saddens me the more, buddy, is that this is by choice, because we're living in a world right now. You have YouTube, so what? Like right now, it's up to you to be in the loop. If you want to know
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah, you do
If
the
you want to know what's going on, or if you even have the curiosity to to dig into some matters and different topics that you don't understand, you know?
Yeah, it's up to us to do
It's
that.
up to us. And most of people, honestly, like, here, I think, yeah, I think you're really shattered. I think you're really, like, honestly, and I'm very careful saying this because sometimes it can sound even like, oh, I'm judging. No, it's a reality.
Yeah.
It is the reality that um, we, we, we in general like spend sometimes like looking inside what's going on, and you don't open your eyes to see what's going on around. And everybody matters, man. Everybody, like, what's going on right now, like, I know exactly if you ask me what's going on the Gaza Strip, I
Ugh.
tell you, I watch the news. Like, it's a me thing. I like watching the news. I'm working here, I'm doing my graphic design here. I have a screen here, not a screen here, no. Like, I have one watching the Brazilian news when I
Yeah.
How do you decide which news is
It-
the one?
That's real.
That's where I'm at.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like U.S. for instance. Sometimes I watch. Like now, they're all talking about the election.
Yeah.
So sometimes I put one screen on CNN. Sometimes I put one on Fox,
Yeah.
just to
Both on.
get that balance. Like, what is? But at the
Attaboy.
end of the day, man, everything is biased. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like you know the truth somewhere.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
That's the hard part.
yeah, it's crazy. Like the way and something happens and they're gonna deliver that news like the way like each channel like talk about it. Like,
It's crazy. It's
yeah.
like it's two different topics.
but that's the thing. It's an exercise like playing music. Like the more you put yourself and you actually develop that sense of judgment and like that helps you to don't fall for.
The stupidity.
For a fucking shirt that has.
It still happens, Tennessee. That's why I say we have a lot of room to improve.
That's right. No, bro.
But you know, I was just talking to
100%.
my wife about this not long ago, man. Scam is a thing that I have a lot of friends that like, I can't believe that guy fell for that. I think honestly, I'm talking about real scams. I think the more you think that you are untouchable, you know, scam proof is you're gonna find certain level of scammers that you are the perfect fit for that.
Yeah.
Because
they
you're
look
like
for
you
that.
think you're so good, you think you can actually vet everything and like, oh, I don't fall for any bullshit.
Yeah.
That's why I keep humble. I keep like, no, oh, this happened to my uncle, poor guy, could have happened to me. Deep down I know like, okay, because I know how to differ like a link and this and that, if it's true or not, if it's fake, but still there's always somebody smarter than you.
Yeah.
And
I
if you
got caught.
don't-
I got caught in a pretty big scam. I lost
Re-
24 grand.
Really?
Yeah, I got fucking hosed for a guy was doing work on the
And
house.
you were smart as fuck,
Yep.
Eric.
Before it happened, I was like, I'll never get scammed ever.
Right?
He got me.
You get me.
You're right though. As soon as you said that, like they know you're kind and they know how to play you.
No, man, I honestly like sometimes I just try, you know, like not long ago, like a month ago, they just put something like, oh, calling all musicians, blah blah blah, to play in a cruise, blah 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 blah. Apply here. I did, you know. I was like, okay, what am I gonna apply? I'm gonna send them my bio. I'm gonna send them my website, my social media link. That's it. Nothing like more like the person could know where I live and blah blah blah. Although I think if you do a deep search right now, like
It's not that hard.
we're all like we buy stuff from Amazon all the time, right?
Yeah.
And Chinese. So I
Yeah.
think we're all like exposed to, you know, like
Even our IP address, you
that
could get to our house.
data
There's-
leaking, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, when I see stuff like that, I still wanna just try because I was like, oh, what if it was legit? But I think it's so sad, man, that people like they go that route. Like I think, yeah, it's on a different level. It's hard to understand like how heartless they can be because we're playing with people's feelings in terms of like you're a musician, like you're looking for an opportunity. Right? This is what affects me because it's part of our reality. Like as an artist, like oh, so that was this one another not long ago. The guy was like, oh, found my Instagram, like, oh, I loved your work, and you've very nice looking, different characteristics, blah blah. So, oh, you want to say I'm big, right? Just a little,
okay.
laughing. Go, no, I just like I'm an artist, and then he showed me like a portfolio. You could paint, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, I have this thing, but I would like to use your picture. You choose one of your pictures, and I can use it. I'm gonna put in a frame like an oil paint, blah blah blah, and I send it to you. And I get, because I was sponsored by this person, so I can pick whatever artist that I want, blah blah blah. But the scam at the end was like I needed to send some money, so he would like. Say, honestly,
You're
dude,
buying the paint
honestly,
and
like you engaged, you took all this time, you did all this around,
Just to fucking try to.
you know,
Yeah.
to just give me like
Oh,
200
man,
bucks.
yeah, just
Like,
what-
honestly, it took more time of me than that 200 bucks, you know, like,
yeah.
but there's people like, these are their jobs, right? They're behind the computer 24/7.
Yeah, and you're no one to them. You're just a name. That's it.
Yeah, they don't
care about
they
you
don't
as
care,
a,
no.
and it's
No.
sad to think that you've like disconnected yourself so fully that you're like, this person does not matter, but it's a person, and
Yeah.
you're fucking with them.
Yeah, and in some cases, like you, like, fuck, man, like, woo, 24 grand.
Oh yeah, that was fucked. That was fucked. That was
I'm still thinking about that.
yeah, that was pretty
I
wild.
was pissed when I bought this shirt.
Yeah.
only $12.
That's,
I'm kidding. I actually loved it. I
Yeah.
could have canceled it right away, but like, no, we're going all the way through.
oh yeah, no. That,
You
no,
felt
that's a
that way
sweet shirt.
too?
No,
We're going all the way through.
oh fuck yeah, it did. I kind of saw it coming, but anyways, that's all this fucking
Yeah,
long
okay.
story. It was just
Yeah.
not. But it just goes to show that I was humbled, and I thought I'll never get caught. I'll never get caught.
No.
I got caught. You know,
Yeah, when you think like that, like you're already making yourself a target, I think.
100%. Yeah. Like, oh, you think you're so fucking smart, eh? Yeah. Okay, we'll see. Then you
Let's-
become just like a project for these
yeah,
guys. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
fuck you over
I'm
because
gonna
you're.
find a way. What is your weakness?
Yeah,
sir?
yeah, yeah. You're a cocky little motherfucker.
Yeah,
That's.
sent you a couple nudes. Got
Oh well. Didn't take long to find my weakness. God damn. Found my kryptonite.
yeah,
Oh yeah. We can't get into women though. That'll be a whole other podcast.
right.
We'll save that for
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't like to touch that topic. You know, because,
He's a married man after all.
yeah.
Yeah. No. We won't go down that road.
I can talk about a friend of mine. I know some stories.
Oh, yeah,
about
buddy.
A cousin.
I got a buddy.
I have a cousin that
Friend of the friend. Yeah.
he used to fuck around a lot, man.
Uh,
That guy.
Yeah. What a
Guy, him.
what a guy.
What a lucky charm.
That what was it? Julio.
No, Julinho.
Julio.
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 Julião.
Julian. So that's Julian.
No,
He was
no.
extra. My cousin Julian. He's real extra. Yeah.
Julião.
Dude, thanks for coming on here, man. It's been
Yeah,
awesome.
man, hey, anytime.
Fucking A, dude.
If I have the time, anytime.
We'll have you back. We'll have him back, and yeah.
The new season.
Yeah, I don't. Well, we gotta. How are we gonna do this? We're breaking it up into seasons. We'll see, but yeah.
Because I bet you guys are gonna have a lot of content. There's a lot of interesting people to bring here.
Dude,
A lot of people. We're so
dude, this whole community is in you. Everybody has a cool story. It's
Everybody
like,
we've asked to so far has been so excited to do it too. It's been amazing.
yeah, man, and it's cool to just sit down and chat, and you have the time. You know, it's
Yeah.
too bad we're filming
A
it.
bunch
And,
of other people and music and trying to
Yeah.
pay attention to everybody and still mingle and
yeah, it's just like
right
it's our
now
time,
you get to,
and you get to talk to people about the coolest fucking thing ever in music, like music. You know, it's
And as I
awesome.
said, like I'm an open book, so we covered every topic here. I told you about everything. Like I have no problems.
That's great. That's the best interviews, man.
Yeah.
That's the best conversations is when there's no filter.
No.
I'm like, oh, I can't say that. I'm on camera.
No,
Like I get it.
honestly, like I'm lucky enough to tell you, like of course mistakes we all do at some point, but I never done nothing that I would feel ashamed of, you know, like, and I can't talk about.
Right. Yeah. Everything
Yeah.
you did made you who you are, right?
Yeah,
Like you learned
yeah.
from it, whatever it was, even if it was Julie, you know what I mean? Yeah. But anyways, I want to hear you play, bro. I want you to show people what about this looping. We
Yeah,
talked
we
about
can do something if I still have it on me.
Yeah, I think
after a couple of beer.
I have a couple soul, yeah. Where's that from, Soul? Is that a Canadian?
It's Mexican. I believe.
Mexican?
Yeah, Chicana.
What's the beer in Brazil? Like the beer?
We have the biggest one was Brahma, Skull,
Oh, that's good.
Brahma,
Yeah.
Skull. Yeah, but right now the big ones is like Heineken. Everybody's
Oh,
drinking
it's all
Heineken.
like American.
Uh,
Like
yeah.
Bud Light
Bud
out
Light,
there.
but
Yeah.
no, not light, but
No.
Budweiser for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brahma was good.
we
used
have
to-
some like Patria, some very traditional stuff from Netherlands. Like they're this
Strong tasting beer.
yeah,
Yeah.
Patria.
some stuff there are in the market since like 1300s. You know, like very
Oh.
traditional.
Yeah. It's like yeah.
So we have some stuff like
That's cool.
Bohemia is one Brazilian.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Those are good beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember
We used to drink that back in the day. Bohemian was we'd love to drink that stuff.
Bo, so close. They call it Bo. Intimate.
Bo, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Bo,
we got
me
it.
and Bo.
Is that how you say it in Brazil too? Bo, like is
Yeah, it'd be Bo.
handsome?
Huh?
It's somebody's. Like,
Well, how do you say
like
handsome in
attractive,
in
Bo.
Portuguese?
Handsome or handsome and like bonito, but
Bonito.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
bonito.
or boga. Like that's a good-looking guy as
Yeah.
or boga. Or, yeah, handsome man. Yeah.
Actually,
Boga.
more like in this language, we call it like gato, gata, which is a cat or a kitten.
Okay.
Oh, that's a cat. Like for a man and a kitten, for a woman, gatinha.
Oh, okay.
Gata, gatinha.
Gatinha. Man.
Hey, gatinha.
Hey, Gatinha. Am I a Gatinha?
No, not my type. Not my type.
Oh, man. All right, Julio, thank you so much, bro.
Inside, man. Thank
Loved
you.
it, man. It was awesome.
So I gotta tell you a little story about the pedal first.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, as I told you in the interview, I started like developing a taste for like more like full of element sound type thing. So I decided I saw a guy playing this loop in front of me, and I was like, "What the heck?" I didn't know this was even a possibility. So that really opened my mind to explore different things, and I started with different pedals. And this guy used analog type of setup, and I thought that there was just too much for me. I was like, no, I need something more simple. So I googled something, and this was pretty expensive at the time. I bought this thing like at least 12 years ago, at least, if I recall. This is a long time ago. Yeah, and then I knew he had a loop for 24 seconds, but if you split it, you have like in a half time, you can make it 48, which was more than enough what I need, right? So yeah, I started like putting time and energy until I figured out the way that could work for me. And this baby here, this device is one that I'm very fond of because this brought me here to Canada and helped me a lot building my reputation. And I'm filling my pocket for most of the time.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. And then
So-
you were able to buy a new one, though.
Yeah, now I updated. I did a little upgrade like when right after COVID hit. Like I had time to do more research, and I was actually feeling this a little limited for some stuff, and for some techniques and arrangements, it's just not there, or it's too complicated to go back and forth, you know. So I ended up going for this this board that's just about the loop, which I also use as my main unit to process my vocals. So I have those. I can either loop the vocals or even use like a reverb and even harmonies. He does that harmonies like it's double the vocals, right? Can do harmonies for you. But yeah, so this I still keep this one because really he holds a special place in my heart. Hi guys, my name is Falcon and this is my sound. Okay, so let's do See You Here. And you guys can check it on Spotify by Falcon. if it won't get better for me, if you don't speak again. My heart is hurt by you. You don't see the shadows, your arrow can hit me. I won't see. I want to blame your fiction, blame your soul, 'cause you're so bad, 'cause you're so strong, because you're beautiful and wrong. 'Cause you're so bad, 'cause you're so strong, because you're beautiful and wrong. Your arrow can hit me, I won't see. Broken glass reflecting your eyes, it hurts. Start again. This love is broken. You wanna be together, you're better for me. Oh, I want to blame your fiction, save your soul, 'cause you're so bad, 'cause you're so strong, because you're beautiful and wrong. 'Cause you're so bad, 'cause you're so strong, because you're beautiful and wrong. Your arrow can hit me, I won't see. Thanks, guys.
Welcome to our sound.
Welcome to our sound.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.